It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth.
It's you liberals who have lifted them up, Howard.
Paul, you conservatives make a mistake. You can't afford to strangle hope in people. Without hope, people become dangerous.
No, Howard. You liberals have let them invade our society. You give them jobs, political jobs.
Paul, you missed the point. It's only the smart ones we move up.
That makes it even worse.
No, we have to move them up. If we leave a smart one in the ghetto, he might develop into a leader against us. But if we raise him up into white society, we neutralize him.
It really boils down to our ability to accept. We don't need pessimism.
What he means by pessimism is resistance. And that's what COINTELPRO was all about, stopping the resistance.
I know you're out there. I can feel you now. I know that you're afraid. You're afraid of us. You're afraid of change.
We hide it in plain sight. One of Plato's greatest works was the allegory of the cave. I feel in order to understand the political matrix, we need only to look into this allegory. We first have to open our minds to the possibility everything is not as it seems, that things we've always known to be truth may be lies. For if we can't perceive the lies we've ingested, we can't see the bars on our mental conditioning. For that is how you walk out of the cave and see the political matrix. Hello, everyone. All of our loved ones, friends, family. Welcome into the building. It's the Political Matrix. I'm your host, Marcus Young Morpheus Cage, here with my lovely colleague, Miss Voodoo in Nature herself. Miss Teal, how you doing?
What? Doing good. How are you? How are you? How are you?
I am doing great. This show is definitely going to be a show where we start off definitely in good spirits. And if you guys don't know why, I'm pretty sure you've seen the news. The passing of Lady Lindsey. And we will talk a little bit about it. Now, I know a lot of people say that we should try to be, more in good natured and how we should talk about certain things. And I'm at the point of why keep BSing everybody on everything. So that is definitely something that we're going to talk about. And if y'all don't know it, Teal got a whole lot to say on that. Right, Teal?
Fuck that old bitch. I'm waiting for his best friend to go too. I wish he took both they punk asses out.
We're going to take it. Obviously, you can tell by the thumbnail that I had a little bit of fun with it. And for those who have like pushbacks against it, I'm here to hear your pushbacks and I'll have my responses for that. Also, we got to talk about the war. The war is back on. I just looked at a thumbnail that I created like a couple of weeks ago, and it was Trump questioning, is the deal going to hold? And of course, anybody with common sense knew what was going to happen, but we're going to talk about it a little bit more because the mainstream media seems to want to continuously pretend as if like, oh my goodness, we're so close to deal and this is about to be. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. Also, we got to talk about this sad case of this kid Nolan out in, what is it, Mississippi? I've just kind of been following this story a little bit, and it's kind of taken different turns as people have talked about it because it's became Nolan Wells, because it's become such a big story. I just kind of want to talk about it a little bit and add our take on it. I'll wait before we get too far into that to talk about it, but there's a couple of stories that I kind of want to run by y'all, and it's a video that I didn't get to share last week, so I'm gonna try it. Hopefully, this will be my test to see if our communications and everything are going to hold up for this one. If not, we'll drop out all the videos and we'll just talk about this stuff. We ain't got no problem doing that, right, Teal?
No, we'll make sure the show keep going.
Yeah. So first, I want to make sure I throw shout out to, our friends who are here that I see in the chat already. I see Miguel is here. Lainey, glad to see you here. Also, Jackie is here. Much love. Mariah is here also. And I'm pretty sure there's a couple more of you guys out there. I see you out there. And just want to, extend my welcome to you. If you're new checking out this show, then feel free to jump into the conversation. We welcome the dialogue. We think it's part of what makes the show more fun. I see Warren is in the building also. Much love to you. Glad to see you on here. Though I watch you guys' show, I'm not always able to hop into the live, or when I am watching live, to be able to chat back and forth to the undercurrent with you and Lainey. But much love and respect to what you guys are doing over there. But yeah, let me show this one story. I know that I talked about it a little bit last week, but I just feel like the video of the news report like really gave a better, it gave the full totality, a better, I guess it broke down better what I don't feel that I communicated in trying to explain that part. Oh, 500,000 that's square. Sorry, that just jumped off. Warehouse. Hold on.
Are now suffering through the aftermath. Tons of rotting food is putting off a pungent stench that's so bad it's leading to cancellations as we approach July 4th celebrations.
Yeah, the business owner of the building says it's committed to the fastest cleanup possible, but for the people who live in that area, that may not be fast enough. Sarah Welch joining us live from Boyle Heights tonight with details. Sarah?
Hey, Rick, good evening. Yeah, some events are being canceled due to air quality. And yes, it stinks here tonight. Neighbors say it's the worst midday when temperatures are the hottest. This as some specialized cleanup crews will begin the process.
Acrid smoke is cleared, but area residents are now suffering through the aftermath. Tons of rotting food is putting off a pungent stench that's so bad it's leading to cancellations as we approach July 4th celebrations.
Yeah, the business owner of the building says it's committed to the fastest cleanup possible, but for the people who live in that area, that may not be fast enough. Sarah Welch joining us live from Boyle Heights tonight with details. Sarah?
Hey, Rick, good evening. Yeah, some events are being canceled due to air quality. And yes, it stinks here tonight. Neighbors say it's the worst midday. Are the hottest. This as some specialized cleanup crews will begin the process of clearing away all that burned debris. You see the insulation and the millions of pounds of rancid food stored in that building. Cleanup underway at Lineage Logistics as neighbors cope with the odor of rotting food wafting from the cold storage warehouse.
My sister-in-law just vomited right here in the corridor, because it was a very bad smell,
Water cannons are soaking the building while crews shovel out debris from the fire at the 500,000 square foot cold storage building that burned for a week. Smoke saturated this Boyle Heights neighborhood and beyond.
You could hear my voice still, but the first days, I think in the morning, that following day, I had like a very bad throat, a headache.
People are worried about possible long-term health impacts of breathing the smoke for days. As for the garbage smell from millions of pounds of rotting meat and poultry,
I don't think it's going to have a long-term effect on anybody with regards to the smell, as long as we make sure to cover ourselves and have the proper mask.
Still, families are keeping children indoors.
Even though they want to play outside, it's like we try to keep them inside, just because also our outside is dirty,
Nearby communities have canceled events due to air quality, including the Monterey Park Independence Day celebration. The Crispin family is canceling 4th of July festivities at their home because it smells so bad.
I think so we are, just because of the air quality. We just rather stay inside with the air purifiers inside the house.
The aftermath is also apparently attracting rats. Neighbors have reported seeing more rodents and are concerned about the diseases they could carry.
We haven't seen nothing on this side, but not here. We haven't seen no rats at the moment, no.
And she hopes the cleanup and demolition move quickly for the sake of the neighborhood.
I don't know how long is it going to take, because there's a lot of food there.
And, many of these families also have to deal with the expense now of cleaning the smoke smell out of their own homes. If you need masks, air purifiers, or you want to be seen by a health professional, the LA County Community Resilience Center is offering services for people impacted by the fire. It's set up at the East LA Library. That center reopens tomorrow from 1 to 5 and then all next week from 10 to 5.
All right, that's the gist of what I wanted to show you guys, like how bad it was. Um, and I guess it just got a kickstart. It was ready to go. But yeah, carny ass out of that's hilarious. But yeah, this thing is still a problem that can breed out so many more problems. And so just kind of wanted to keep an eye on, this situation over here. A lot of times when it's not in, the most, upscale neighborhoods, or when it's not affecting the people who are the most privileged and able to, push back against the things that are going on, there's a lot of times not as much concern, and it's in the news one moment and it's back out of the news. Maybe if a couple of
Mm-hmm.
people do have some kind of issues with it, and they have health concerns and they push it hard enough, they might do, a lawsuit and some settlements, and then kind of, NDA and hush everything up. But this could turn into, possible problems for people down the road if this isn't properly dealt with. So, just wanted to put that out there. Jackie asked, let's see. She asked, will the cleanup lead to higher property taxes in the area?
What? Most
Uh,
definitely, they're gonna find a way to make a buck off of this, y'all.
oh, of course, of course.
Yeah, this is like immediate. If you ever wanted to gentrify a place, set a meat packing plant on fire and then let it rot. That's the quickest you can gentrify a space. And shit, that's better than what eminent domain. Shit, that shit worked faster. Oh shit, I don't know why I never thought about that. Want to gentrify some
Yeah.
shit? Tired of seeing
I
the
don't,
Browns in your neighborhood? Set something on fire.
yeah. Will this lead to higher property taxes? Possibly. Because they'll end up saying, well, we need this amount of tax to fix this cleanup, even though this should be due, the company should have to deal with this on their own. It's a
Nah.
lot of times that since these local politicians, the city councilmen and all that are funded by some of these same, meat packaging companies, they'll find a way to shift this burden, or the insurance. So it could. I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but how California is, there's so many different ways where they slip things in where you don't know what the hell you're paying for or why you're paying more for it. There's so many like probably of any state that I've lived in, and living in multiple different states, I don't think I've lived in a state that's it has so many like referendums and extra stuff besides just my city council, state legislature, uh, representatives, Senate, presidential. It has so many other extra things that are on there. It can have something about, um, are you pro or for dialysis? And it'll sound simple like that, but the way it's so much lawyer speak that the one that you're supporting will be the one that you're actually against. And a lot of people, get so confused that they don't have a clue what the heck they're voting on. And I'm saying very knowledgeable people also get confused with the way that they write a lot of this stuff up. So at the end of the day, a lot of times you don't know, you can't make heads or tails of what the hell that they're writing up and what's going to be, the down the road consequences of it until it actually goes into effect. And then also some of the games that they play at the state house, how they decide, well, yeah, that might have got voted through, but due to procedural whatever, this doesn't meet this threshold, and so this is now dropped low enough to a veto proof. And they play a lot of funny games out here in California. So no telling exactly. And even if it did raise taxes because of that, I doubt it will be clear where we would be able to tell exactly. So that was a story from last week, and it's kind of funny. I don't know. Did anybody actually see the DC fireworks from the
Fuck,
4th?
fuck no.
You didn't see it?
No. Was it the
It,
KKK symbol and some swastika?
it's that's not the main reason why I wanted to bring it. It's not because I want to glorify it or like, oh, it was cool. No. That's not why. It's because of how ridiculously outrageous it was. It was so over the top outrageous that I felt like for one, so you don't know, if you don't know, it set a Guinness Book of World Records for like the most fireworks set off at once.
Jesus Christ.
This was not like, oh, you know how you'll go out and especially for, you know, the American domestic audience or those who are familiar with, you know, the 4th of July. You used to going out to like one of your major attractions in your city. Maybe it's the waterfront, riverfront, maybe it's the pier, maybe it's some sports stadium, you know, maybe it's the beach, whatever it is. Wherever you live across America, everybody has those different places. I know growing up, I used to love going to Kauffman Stadium because the Royal Stadium would have like some of the best fireworks and the fountains going off at the same time, and that was cool. Well, let me show y'all what the 250th Trump finale decided to do, because the level of over the top that it is, and of course, keep in mind, this is President Trump,
So is it really
who's
over the
involved
top?
with it. Yeah. So let me show y'all what this looked like, and I'm bringing this up for a reason, but check this out. Yeah, I decided to mute the sound because I don't want us to get hit with copyright or anything. But yes, take a look at this.
That look like a fucking country ass bonfire. What? Oh
Well,
Lord.
keep watching.
It look like that's a satanic ritual. They went up there and got their soul sacrificed. Don't even know it.
Yeah, just keep watching. He wasn't done. I mean, like, it's I mean,
God damn.
At a certain point, this is starting to almost look like a nuclear bomb going off.
Yes, they getting sacrificed. Y'all don't even know it. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, it restarted, but yeah. Let me skip it back to the end of it and click that volume back off. Let me skip it back to the end, like this part, and just stop it. Like, already what this is starting to look like craziness. Oh, I guess that was where was it? Where was it where it was like the most over top? Because this right here, what does this remind you guys of? I'm just curious. No, this isn't 2x speed. This looks
Mad
like
Max?
this looks like a freaking nuclear bomb going off.
Yeah. Fallout.
Yeah, this looks like nuclear fallout. Now, how crazy is it with the situation we have going on in the world that's been going on, that this is how Trump would make the 250th fireworks look?
He would be the reason that the 250th no longer, like, we never allowed to do fireworks
like,
again.
yeah,
This is why it's the end of it. Yeah, this is
you got 250. You got 250. I don't know how many more. It's almost like he's like, yo, we're going to mark this as the first day leading to the end.
Thank you for your souls. We greatly appreciate your souls.
Exactly. I could be hyperbolic, maybe. And if I am, I'm willing to accept that. But this is way over the top. There is nothing like kind of cool or, oh,
how
it's
come we ain't
kind of
get the same
pretty.
love on Cinco de Mayo or
No.
Juneteenth? We ain't get no
No.
fire. We ain't do that.
Yeah, I mean, well, if you saw what it is, I mean, the Trump
Oh, baby,
administration.
you ain't got to explain that. I saw the clips after they just did that UFC fight in the front of the like. Come on, they was dog fighting in the front lawn.
Yeah, and
Literally.
it's funny how many people on the right were worried about Obama getting in the White House and turning it all ghetto. And what happens?
He ain't play one pickup basketball game at the White House. Y'all was worried about nothing. Here,
You
this
get
man
you
over
get
here
Trump in
fighting
there.
dogs.
You get Trump in there, and now he has turned it into like he's
He
turned the
turned into
White
the trailer
House
park.
into
A trailer
redneck
park.
mansions. Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all ever been to those campgrounds around places, and it'd be like people that just never left the campgrounds, but now they got this some super duper Holyfield ass trailer.
Yeah.
That's what this is. That's what this is. If you ain't never, this lets you know you need to drive in more trailer parks. You will see. That's why they okay in it, because the people that love living in the trailer park, they make trailer park pimping. That's who voted that man in the office, and they was cool with it. That's like they saw their friend Bubba Ray. He about to move into a whole, you know what I'm saying? He ain't got to get his trailer put up with the bricks on the foundation. He get a real house. We gonna go to Bubba house. And then that's what happened. They go to Bubba house with their dogs, get to fighting with Bubba's dogs, and now you got the White House. That I'm trying to tell y'all, that is the fastest form of gentrification I've ever fucking seen. Has been in the last few years that Trump's been in office. They just figuring it out. We just gonna tear down half of this White House.
And think about it. His first term is the first time in America's history that our credit dropped.
Maybe. You know how bad you gotta be? That a whole nation's credit go down? Not just my, like, it's not like I went and I decided to go and look at 3, 4, 8 cars, open up 2 other accounts. No, we just was living, and this nigga got our credit dropped 10 points, and ain't nobody got a car. That's crazy. That's crazy. I really think I deserve food stamps now that I think about it. If that man can have dog fights on the front house lawn, the White House lawn, I think I should be able to have food stamps. Just saying.
Completely agreed. I mean, I don't know, man. Yeah, Miguel, I'm with you. Yeah, I'm sure the pets love the fireworks. That's something when I had pets of my own, I actually started thinking more about that. Like, I don't mind the big fireworks you do in the park. I'm more annoyed at the big booming stuff that they do in the neighborhoods. Like, I'm fine with a couple of, firecrackers here, some black cats and stuff like that. But this or stuff that goes way up in the air and it's all pretty and all that, that's fine. But do we really need the stuff that sounds like explosions?
Man,
Do
you
we
worried
have
about
to
the
have
dog.
that stuff? No, well, I'm worried about also you
The
burning down
veterans,
somebody's
nigga.
house. I'm worried
Nigga,
about.
I'm
Well, yeah,
about
you
the
talking
veterans.
about veterans. I had that with my neighbors over here. It literally sounded like they were just throwing grenades in the air. I mean, every probably 30 minutes, I was freaking having a heart attack over here. I'm trying to watch a movie, then douche. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? Car alarms going off all over the place. And they were doing this stuff till 1, 2 in the morning.
That's insane.
And then even before for the World Cup games, every time Mexico would score, that's what's happened. I'm hearing loud explosions.
Sorry.
And the crazy part about it is I live walking distance to the police department. And not one cop car rolled past this street. I haven't seen a cop car roll down this street in probably a month. Easy. And I'm walking distance from the police station. Not to mention also how many cars get hit on my street by, I'm pretty sure, drunk drivers, or at least people who are, well, I don't know if they're drunk, but I do know that this is maybe a 20 mile an hour, 25 or something like that. Let's say 30 max. There's people easily going 70, 75 down this tight street. What elderly people and children. But let me stop. Let me stop just complaining for a second. Let me get back on topic. Thank y'all for entertaining my get off my lawn phase in my life. But I don't know. That's why I miss living in places where you have a little bit more space. because when you're right on top of each other and people are doing shit like that, it's so fucking annoying. Um, oh yeah, and in more news, I wanted to show this. This is very horrible news that I saw that I felt like we definitely need to share this. News in Venezuela. So
Venezuela has now passed 4,000 people. At least 4,118 people are dead, nearly 17,000 injured following the 7.2 and 7.5 magnitude earthquake. That struck on June 24th in the northern part of the country. Also, more than 18,000 Venezuelans are also displaced and thousands still missing.
El tercer cuarto día.
I don't know. I guess the numbers also have went up now. So of this time, it went up to 4,333. I know. But last time I checked, I think it went up. It's like over 4,500, and the number is still rising because of how many people that they're pulling out of the out of the what's left of the wreckage and rubble. So they have a really bad situation over there. Prayers out to the people who are going through it. And I don't know, if you have the means in your heart to be able to send anything over to those people, they definitely need it right now. But also I can't remember what where, I think it was China also, that I saw that they're having some bad issues as far as natural disasters. So I did just want to mention that too.
Well,
Of course,
Philly,
sorry. Go ahead.
well, Philly just had a wild ass storm. Like okay, so I'm glad that you even brought this up. Okay, because the world got to be coming to an end. Sorry, y'all. You think Mark is pessimistic? Nah, my spiritual ass is. So check me out. So Philly just had some weird ass storm the other day, right? People are without power right now in Philadelphia. Did you hear about it?
Mm-mm.
Exactly. So Philadelphia had this freak ass storm last 2 days, and I'm talking about like tornado, high winds, roofs getting ripped off people's houses, trees going down, power being off for 2 days. People ain't had power in 2 days in Philadelphia, right? They've never really experienced. Their infrastructure is never prepared for no shit like that. So I told my homegirl, I said, yeah, it's been raining real bad on and off out my way. If it rains this much in July, that means we're gonna have a hard hurricane season in our
Mhm.
area, which is mid-Atlantic area, right?
So I mean, they're gonna push up.
Come on.
Yep.
So I was
And
like,
for those, let me just clarify that real quick, Teal. For those who don't know what I mean by that, means they're going to push up. Is normally the hurricane season, the focus is on Florida, and it either hitting that Florida peninsula down there at the bottom, whether it's going to
or
go
that Gulf.
East Coast or going to the Gulf, and that's normally
Mhm.
what people are focused on. When I say it's going to push up, what'll happen is it'll ride along the coast. The outer bands will be hitting like Florida. And then what'll happen is they'll get right around that Jacksonville area. They'll push back out. And then they'll gain more speed, and then they'll circle back in to the Carolinas and Virginia. But yeah, go ahead.
Nah. So boom, if it's already pushing up, or it's already looking like they're predetermined, well, the weather machine people, whatever you want to call it, God, source, Tom, Dick, and Harry, whoever y'all believe that be controlling the weather, okay? I think it's the little hat people. It's now going to affect an area that is not prepared for it, right? Yeah, go ahead and look around because we almost got cut off after that one.
No, I'm just stretching.
If it hits Virginia and up, because Delaware and Pennsylvania, that's right next, that means there's going to be major flooding in New York as well. And those cities aren't really built for this type of like damage. And it's been a while since Virginia had a real bad hurricane. So it's around the time, quote unquote, that we need one. You know what I'm saying? That it's looking like we gotta have. So I'm just getting everybody prepared. East Coast about to have a real wet. We got our monsoon season gonna be real fucking wet. I promise you that. We got a mean monsoon season.
Speaking of the weather, that's what I was going to lead into. Yeah, the flooding in Kentucky, Missouri, and Tennessee. Yeah, I've seen that Missouri has officially called for a state of emergency, and I'm pretty sure if Kentucky and Tennessee hasn't done it yet, theirs will probably be coming soon also. And some of the flooding has just been kind of weird in Missouri. I'm not saying that it's not normal to get flooding in Missouri. But there is something that I have been hearing about now. I'll leave that to those who, have their different theories, but I have been hearing a lot about a super El Nino.
See what I'm saying?
And what we've been seeing around the world is just an intensifying of weather, like areas where you would normally get a hurricane, for instance. That hurricane is going from, say a category 2 to now they're jumping to a cat 3, possibly a 4.
Off the cuff.
Stuff off the cuff. Yeah. Stuff that was looking like it was going to be like earthquakes that were looking like they were going to be like a 4.5 are jumping to 7 O's,
Remember back in the day when you could they would pinpoint a hurricane and they'd be like, oh yeah, it's a category 1 and it might gain some strength and get to such and such. We'll be back in 2 days to tell you what happened. Remember it took like a week for a hurricane to really build up? These bitches is coming out the ocean smacking shit.
Yeah.
Off the cuff. These bitches is category 8 in the water, category 7 by the time they hit land. Don't nothing lose speed. It is insane how our weather is nowadays. So either you believe in global warming and the weather's getting worse, or you believe these motherfuckers are controlling it and the weather's getting worse.
Or option 3, there's a little bit of both going on.
Because the weather's getting worse. That's
one way or another, the weather's getting worse.
Yeah, and it's like at this point, is this now part of the population control part? Because I just want to know where we at. Because the ticks was hitting, but they weren't hitting like they needed to. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Then they brought the screwworm, hookworm, whatever the fuck that bitch called. Then that was like, damn, that's not really hitting that hard either. And so now we got this fruit vegetable parasite tearing up everybody's stomachs.
Oh, Till, did you hear about the bees?
Oh my God, what are they doing to the bees?
A truckload of bees.
Oh yeah, 3 million bees.
24 million bees turned over.
God damn, 24.
Yeah.
Damn.
24 million bees turned over. I think it was in Texas.
Okay, now this is where I'm at. What kind of bees were they?
I don't know. They didn't say.
They didn't say. They didn't tell us. Because are these the bees that's going to help our universe, or are these some Bill Gates bees that's like sterile and we don't know, and they out here fucking up the bee population?
Yeah, they didn't say if they were bioengineered or not. They didn't say if these were fake bees, because you do know that, for those who don't know, it's on the record that they do have robotic bees also.
Yes. You feel me? I just want to know, are these the bees that be on the front of the Cheerio box? Because he was a nice bee, and he looked like he was trying to save the world with, heart health and shit.
Oh, I know people's pets have been getting towed up.
Bro, Deuce got bit up. Man, fuck the bees. There's these things called deer flies. I just found out about deer flies this year. Them little fuckers been fucking my dog up. Medusa don't even want to go outside right now. She hate going outside to go to the bathroom. And they look like fake bees.
Oh.
That's crazy.
Peep this that Warren put out there.
Hey, Warren.
Talking about the ice shelf in Antarctica, the size of Florida, is about to drop off. That's one thing that I was worried about the whole time I was in Florida. Like, I remembered, what was his name? Al Gore talking about that for the longest. And it was like, if that ice shelf falls off, how it would raise the sea level, and so much of Florida's coastline would just evaporate. And it's like, we thought that would be so much farther away. And No, it is looking like it's gonna. I mean, I remembered seeing evidence of it myself. I used to do like because y'all know I used to do armor truck, right? And
No, we didn't. No, Marcus, you
little
got 17 fucking jobs. God
little
damn.
mini Marcus story time for you
Mhm.
guys. But I was doing armor truck and I was at the Ponte Vedra country club. And I remember looking at, because in the country clubs, well, I don't know if you know or not, but in country clubs, a lot of times they have all these old photos of the country club over the years and all these pictures. And since it sits right on the beach, there's all of these pictures, on the beach, and you can see the coastline. And when you look at what the Florida coastline looked like in like the 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and compared it to at that time, like maybe 2012, you could see like I'm telling you, it probably had to be the difference of, let's say, the pictures of just the 50s, from the 50s up to that time period, probably around 2012. They probably lost about 50 yards of coastline.
God damn.
So imagine how much it is now in 2026, adding what, another 14 years. Now add an extra 10 more years or so with all of this heightened weather that we keep seeing. And then Warren just talked about the ice shelf falling off, which they already thought if that raises the water level. And for those who don't know, many parts of Florida are under the water level, are below sea level. So if it raises the sea level to a place that's already below sea level, and another thing about Florida, for those who don't know, there are many parts of Florida, like nobody in Florida has a level floor. Nobody has a level floor. And the reason why you can't have a level floor is because Florida is built on sand, which is always shifting and moving. Now, some parts of Florida, there's water that's going up underneath. And so you have sinkholes, which are basically like ready to pop all over that state in various places. And so you build a house, it's perfectly flat. And then next thing you know, you're like, man, why come that fridge just looks off? Because your house is partially sinking. So that house is tilted a little bit. Now, it's not like in 20 years, it's just going to fall through the floor completely. But you'll go from a level floor to putting a ball on the ground and it just rolls straight to the wall, over a good 5, 6, 7 year period. And let that go over time. And if you see how some of those houses are built, good luck to y'all. Sorry, end of my story time.
I know you got a soft spot for Florida, but shout out to New Orleans and Baton Rouge and
it's worse for them.
Who already started evacuating.
It's worse for them.
Evacuating people.
It's
and they
worse
have been
for
evacuating people in April. And when they started doing it in April, I was trying to figure out, like, what the fuck y'all doing? It was like, y'all got like a 10-year plan to get the fuck out. Well, that's crazy shit for your government to say you got 10 years.
So we got to explain it to them, though. I don't think a lot of people, for people who don't understand that about New Orleans, I talked about how parts of Florida are under sea level. All of New Orleans is under sea level. The whole city is built in a bowl. Like the whole city is just built with levees all the way around, just keeping water out at all times. The moment one of those levees falls, you have another Hurricane Katrina situation.
Yep.
And they live right there at the precipice of that happening on a regular basis. That place, like I'm talking about, this in Florida could happen over this. This could happen to them at any moment. And I would throw in parts of Mississippi are in the same boat. But sorry to interrupt. Go ahead, too.
No, I feel you, because like they're already under sea level. And so April, they started saying, get you a 10-year plan because y'all gonna have to get the fuck on. And that was like, they started evacuating people out in April. There were news articles about that in April when they were like, yeah, y'all got to get the hell on. You about to drown.
Mm-hmm. Well, I got first tipped off to that a couple of years back when that tribe was getting pushed out of Mississippi. Um, yes, surrounded by Lake Pontchartrain. Um, but yeah, I remember that Native American tribe that got pushed out because Bill Gates bought their water supply.
See what I'm talking
Yes,
about?
people. He bought part of the river which they lived off of and basically took their water supply away. So a whole Native American tribe had to migrate to another state. Yeah. Just reminding y'all, if we ever forget that we can't stand billionaires, just remember we can't stand them enough. Oh, last story that I wanted to touch on before we get to some of our main topics. I don't know if you've seen this or not. I don't know if the rest of the chat has seen this or not. I don't know if they're going to copyright hit me for playing this video, but I figured I would show it any damn way. Oh, did I even put it on the screen? I don't think I did. So let me go find it. Oh yeah, by the way, did you hear about Rokana?
No.
Rokana was went to Israel and found himself out in the West Bank. So let me play that video for you guys first, and then I'll go find that other video that I want to set up next. So
of California. Congressman Khanna, thank you so much for being here. My condolences to you. It's a loss for everyone in Congress.
Well, my condolences to Senator Graham's family. He obviously served this country honorably in the Air Force. He was someone who bucked.
Fuck it. In the
That's
airport.
a crazy spot to get caught.
Who talked about having undocumented.
That motherfucker did 6 years in the Air Force.
yeah, because didn't he do? It's funny. Then I want to talk. Now you want to come back on. Yeah, what he did? 4 years active, and then he did a bunch of years as a reservist, and then
In the Coast Guard, too.
went back active for. Then he went
Coast
back
Guard.
active for a couple of years, but his active duty was like, I think it was part of JAG though. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting. He's kind of similar to who else was it? Florida, the Florida governor. What's his name? Little short dude.
Not Scott.
No,
yeah.
not Skeletor.
Goddamn.
The dude who's in right now. Let me skip
Can't think
over.
of his
Why come I
fucking
can't
name.
remember his name? The governor right now, dark hair, really a dumbass.
Rubio?
No, DeSantis.
There we go. I get that
Yes,
mixed up all the time.
DeSantis was one of the ones who was overseeing the torture that was going on in was it Abu Ghraib? He was overseeing the torture that was happening in Guantanamo.
Jesus.
Yeah, so him and Lindsey Graham are basically peas in a pod because Lindsey Graham, believe it or not, was one of the ones who was overseeing our treatment of prisoners during Desert Shield. You can't make this stuff up.
Yeah, that man got a special place in hell.
Yeah.
That man got a special fucking place in hell. Oh my God.
Well,
they couldn't wait to get him down there.
Yeah, I mean, I hear let's see. I can YouTube. I hear what you said. I just wanted to play this because I found it's interesting. Now, do I think there's a reason for what he's doing? Because he knew what was going to happen when he went over there. Yes, but here I'll just play this real quick, and y'all tell me what do y'all think has happened? Because I don't know if y'all have noticed how many appearances he's had in the media as of late. Actually, while this is playing, can somebody tell me? I guess confirm Was Ro Khanna born in the United States?
You
People
know
have
what?
a
I was
pathway
about to get this cut
to
off.
citizenship. And of course, we had very profound disagreements on foreign policy. I do believe that there is a new generation.
No, I was saying like I wasn't saying like trying to say anything offensive towards him or anything. I'm saying because I genuinely don't know. But what I honestly believe is Ro Khanna is trying to run for president. No doubt in my mind. That's what he's doing. Every time I look up any kind of political show, Ro Khanna is on it. Ro Khanna has been out there trying to, be against Trump. He's been out there trying to put deals together with Massey about the Epstein files. He's been trying his best to separate himself from any other Democratic contender. And what that looks like to me is a man who's running for president. Now, the only reason why I asked, is he a United States citizen? Because I'm not sure. Now, if he's not a United States citizen, then I don't know. Maybe he's just, this is his passion right now. Maybe he's pushing for whoever does win on the Democratic side that he can be included somewhere high up on that ticket. But if he is a United States citizen and you were running for president, this is all the stuff. If I was advising somebody to run for president, I would advise them to all do exactly what Ro Khanna has been doing. Now, whether he's legitimate or truthful or not being phony, that's a whole different other matter. I'm just saying he is advocating and doing the policies that if I was advocating, like if I was a paid DC consultant from the left, and when I'm saying the left, I'm not saying hard left or center. I'm just saying anybody who is left of center. This is how I would be advising them, because it makes the most strategic sense, whether you actually care about the issues or not. Now, I would be doing it because I care about these issues, but if you're just trying to, put that finger in the wind like old Lindsey would do, well, he probably put that finger other places, but that's neither here nor there.
Sorry, I couldn't resist. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying,
I'm
like,
childish, y'all.
Some people just, hey man, they go with the boat. They rock with the boat. They find the path of least resistance, and they say, yo, this avenue is the best route to get me ahead. And oh man, that sounded wrong. Speaking of Lindsey today, well, the pause has got to be like timed. Goodness. But yeah, I just look at it as this man looks like somebody who's running for president. I don't know. In the chat, let me know if y'all agree. Does it seem like he's running for president to you? Okay, all right. Y'all see it. Guys smiling. 1.5 years. Israel's our greatest asset. Actually, I think let's say for instance, if he did become president and he stuck to his guns, these West Bank settlers might be fucking up royally doing some of the stuff that they just did. So if it wants to play, let's see. I'll try to let it play.
Generation that does not want these foreign wars and wants a more human rights oriented foreign policy. But my condolences to him and recognition of his service.
He loved having those debates. And as you say, foreign policy was front and center in those debates. He had a very close relationship with Prime Minister Netanyahu. You just heard me talking to Prime Minister.
What? You got the who?
I said she was just talking to Netanyahu, of course.
Netanyahu. And I do want to ask you, because you just...
It's wild because if you look at her...
Him?
Oh, she talks to him all the time.
Oh my God.
It's wild because if you were to look at her and size her up, what comes to mind when you see Kristen Welker? Like if you didn't know, I don't know how much you know about her now,
Condoleezza
but
Rice
without
2.0.
knowing,
Condoleezza Rice 2.0.
okay, what nationality would you think she is?
Child, that's a hard finger to put on that one. She Mexican?
That's my point.
Is she?
She could
Or
pass
I don't
for
know.
she could pass for Indian, right?
Yeah, she
She
could be
could pass
Indian.
for
She
a
could
black
be
woman. She could
Mexican.
pass for like another Kamala. You know,
She could
she
pass for
a lot of things.
Ethiopian.
Yeah, she could pass for so many different things.
Yeah.
But
What is she?
then I started wondering some things. I was like, man, why does it seem like she gives so much deference for a certain country?
Goddamn.
Then I went and did a little research. She's
She from that place.
she has a mixture, I'll tell you that.
Albanian, ain't she?
No, I think if I remember correctly, I believe she is of Indian and of 1948 ancestry.
What?
Yeah. In fact, let me see if I can find it. Kristen Welker. What I started let's see. Let's pull her up first. Let's see, because I was pretty sure. Kristen Welker. All right, pulling up her Wikipedia right now. Is the daughter of Harvey and Julie Welker. Because at first I thought, wait a minute, is Welker like her husband's name or a maiden name? Because I'd only heard that last name Welker one other time. And the only other Welker I heard of was the Welker, Wes Welker, who played for the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
And if you know anything about Wes Welker, which I give it to him, he's a bad boy, but one of the few Jewish NFL players I could name. Did you know that?
Was he hanging out with my boy Hernandez?
No, he wasn't there yet.
Oh, okay.
But Gronkowski was.
Gronk.
Gronk was like a rookie.
Yeah, when Aaron was out here welling.
But yeah, when I saw this, I was like, Kristen Welker is the daughter of Harvey and Julie Welker. Her father is an engineer. Her mother is a real estate agent. Welker's father is, and mother is African American. That's what it was. Because I'm like, I know what people say, but you can't tell me. You cannot tell me that. Well, I put it this way. For most average people, part of your heritage, you're going to be a little bit more biased to it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody's a little bit biased, and I'm not saying that bias has a meaning you have to hate on another or you have to push down another. But I guarantee you, when all of these journalists who get pressed on, who have a tie to a country which they feel is getting bullied, which they feel has always been bullied because historically they feel they've always been bullied. Is it weird to think that she might want to circle the wagons and protect the home team? I don't think that sounds crazy. I don't think that makes me anti anything either. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And people can get mad at me if you want to. Oh, I completely agree. I think she's a horrible reporter. I think in order for you to work for any of these major places right now, and it disgusts me that she's on Meet the Press. Considering Meet the Press used to be one of my go-to when Tim Russert was on, because they used to like really go back and forth and test politicians and call out politicians. And the fact of how, in order for you to be on ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, Fox News, you have to be a stenographer for, the mainstream. You have to be pushing the talking points of either Team Blue or Team Red within certain confines. And then on certain other topics, it doesn't matter whether you're red or blue, both teams support this one thing. Whether it comes to protecting our greatest ally, or defending the weapons industry, or defending any freaking war that ever comes up. That's the one thing that both parties do across the board every single time. Another thing they'll say is, both of them say, we cannot have any kind of national healthcare system. We cannot do any mass programs. Oh, another thing is, we can make sure that we can never do any programs to reparations or helping any black people. Both parties are well on that. Now, one party will try to play the game of, well, we want to try to work, we should help the poor. This. Yeah, okay. Yeah, keep bullshitting. I just wish that, and I just wish that people would come to the conclusion to say, yo, we just ain't gonna do this, and yeah, that's just how it's gonna be. And okay, what you gonna do about it? Because there's a whole industry right now of people. Sorry, it's bugging me. My cord is so twisted up, so I'm trying to straighten it out. But it annoys me that there is a group of people who are taking so much money from people in my community and pushing this nonsense on them, that by having less power and by only having a whole bunch of forums back and forth online is somehow going to get people who have told you they are not going to help you to all of a sudden give billions of dollars to you that they feel you are not due. And to be honest, they felt your ancestors weren't due. So I don't understand how that works, but I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm sorry. Till, you want to add to that, or are you like, you know what, I'll leave that one alone?
I'm gonna leave it alone.
Because sometimes I know I just go out there on the limb and I stand 10 toes on it, and it is what it is. And anybody want to have that fight with me, I'm down to have the fight. That don't mean that I don't support reparations. Hell, I support reparations for all people who have been oppressed and taken advantage of. So I support reparations across the board. I feel like, France needs to be paying Haiti and all those African nations that they've been stealing from and still steal from. I feel Spain owes a due. I feel Denmark owes a due. There's a whole lot of countries. I can go down a list. So for the Americans who just think that, oh, well, he just feels that way. No, I feel Africa owes some reparations to a lot of black people too. So don't think it's just on some FBA only us nonsense. I don't think like that. I think Spain owes reparations to damn near half of the Americas, so France owes some reparations, and Denmark and England to Canada, to people in Canada. So let's not play that only FBA, talking point. And no, that doesn't mean I'm on some Pan-African, theology with the way I'm putting that out. I just look at, if you took from people and you built an empire off of people's backs, then you owe them. Point blank, period. And you can't dare, as a people who live in those societies, feel like, oh, I don't get why we're divided. You do get why we're divided. Now, either decide that you're going to take what you took and say, fuck it, it is what it is, and not want to repair the relationship, or find a way to repair the relationship and quit trying to wiggle around it. It's one of the two. Stand on it. If you like, yo, we took your shit, we took advantage of you, and it is what it is. And if you want to hate me for what we've done to you and your ancestors, whatever, I won. Keep that same energy, whichever way you want to do it. Or if you say, you know what we did was wrong, we do need to figure this out. How can we fix this? But don't play the, I don't get why there's this division. Country's built on division. What are you talking about? How do you come in and I don't know. Let me stop because I'm gonna go on a tangent if I say any more. It's a lot that's on my mind, and a lot more that's on my heart. But I'm gonna leave that alone for now, because speaking of what they were doing as far as where is it at? I guess I don't even need to show the video, but I'm gonna just talk about this. Have you heard about the deportations to Africa?
No. When the fuck they start those?
Let me show you this, because
What? I could have taken a cruise.
no, but here's the thing. It's not what you think. It's not what you think at all. This is not deportations of Africans to Africa or Black Americans to Africa. Yo, they taking people from like hold on. They taking people that are like Mexicans.
What?
And deporting them to Africa.
They're not gonna last over there. That's not even their type of climate.
And it's just randomly. Yeah. Oh, Laney said they reported on that a while ago. Yeah. They just deporting people to anywhere. Now, granted, some of the countries are like, yeah, well, it's all, you know, with this Trump administration, people are trying to figure a way to curry favor and to get on the good side of you know, the 80-year-old Joffrey that we have, you know, now running things. It's like 80-year-old Joffrey with dementia, who also has shitty diapers. But here's this one real quick. Y'all check this out.
More and more undocumented immigrants from the United States. But many of these undocumented migrants aren't from the African countries they're landing in. In fact, many aren't even from the continent at all.
Yeah, many are native from the continent at all.
That's because Ghana, Uganda, South Sudan, Eswatini, Equatorial Guinea, and Rwanda have cut deals with the United States to accept or at least agree to accept deportees from the U.S. So why have these African nations decided to accept U.S. deportees? And why is the Trump administration turning to Africa in the first place? Well, on the 2024 presidential campaign, Donald Trump promised to carry out
the largest deportation operation in the history of our country.
And to date, his administration claims it has deported around 500,000 undocumented immigrants.
The Trump administration now is having more difficulties and is slower process in trying to deport people from the interior of the United States, as opposed to those quicker deportations that the Biden administration was doing from the U.S.-Mexico border.
The Trump administration has turned to third deportations. It's a section of the Immigration and Nationality Act that allows the Department of Homeland Security to deport migrants to a country with a government that will accept the alien if removal to their home country is impractical, inadvisable, or impossible.
The administration is trying to use them to incentivize people from not coming to the United States regularly, but also to limit the options that the immigrants have when they're facing an asylum case.
And now he's expanding the list of countries where migrants can be deported to.
That's meant to, in some ways, intimidate migrants and then accept in the end that they return to another country. It makes the deportation process faster. It also makes it, in some cases, more coercive. And in the end, may or may not result in larger numbers.
According to one study, his administration sent deportation flights to at least 25 African nations in 2025. But that doesn't mean those nations have official third country deportation agreements with the US. And that's where things get a little murky. There isn't a lot of transparency around these agreements and what they entail. Reports only confirm that 6 African nations have accepted, or at least agreed to accept, deportees from the United States: Ghana, Uganda, South Sudan, Eswatini, Equatorial Guinea, and Rwanda. While countries like Nigeria, Libya, and Burkina Faso have rejected deportation requests.
And we should be clear that the majority of people that are being deported in general, but also in these third country agreements, are Latin Americans themselves. Mexico, Honduras, Salvador, and Guatemala combined account for over 2/3 of the unauthorized immigrant population in the United States.
So what's in it for these African nations?
In general, I think every country, not just in Africa, but every country that's receiving or willing to receive this type of agreements, I think is trying to calculate how to improve coordination and relationships with the United States when they know that immigration is a significant component and pillar of the U.S. foreign affairs.
In past arrangements of third country deportations, host countries have accepted migrants in exchange for compensation. Take El Salvador, for example. In 2025, the United States paid the country about $6 million to hold 238 alleged members of the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua for a year at the country's notorious mega prison Secot. And sometimes the U.S. has resorted to political pressure to get countries to agree to third country deportations. In 2025, Trump repeatedly asserted that China was running the Panama Canal. He then used that false claim to argue that the U.S. should seize control of the waterway.
We're going to take it back, or something very powerful is going to happen.
Around this time, Panama agreed to temporarily receive approximately 300 migrants. So why are African countries agreeing to accept U.S. deportees?
They are trying to leverage the opportunity to reduce any type of import or tax limitation that they're now negotiating with the United States.
African governments want to stay on the Trump administration's good side, particularly with sanctions and tariffs on the table.
The second one, and likely especially in Africa, is to avoid being given visa restrictions for their nationals or for their own governments to be able to travel to the United States.
But there's a financial upside for some African countries that are cashing in on the arrangements. Here's what we know. So far, Eswatini has received 15 U.S. deportees and has reportedly agreed to accept around 150 more in exchange for $5.1 million to build its border and migration management capacity. Rwanda has agreed.
Yo, did you peep that math?
Yeah.
$5 million for up to 150 people.
So we selling bodies again. We back in the body selling business. That's what you're telling me?
Mm-hmm.
So this is this is slick slavery, but not.
I'm just hoping that you're following it.
Slick ass concentration camps.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna play a little bit more because I got a lot to say when I saw this, and I remember hearing this story, but then as I dug a little bit more, it was a couple of things which I thought about that I was like, interesting. It's almost like it's the same thing with a video that we did a couple of weeks ago and I brought up, and then later on after the fact I thought about other things that I didn't put together at the time.
Agreed to accept 250 deportees from the U.S. for the price of $7.5 million. And the U.S. has sent $7.5 million to Equatorial Guinea to accept 9 non-citizen deportees. On the other hand,
$7.5 million for 9?
Hey,
who would take that deal?
Marcus.
You literally could give each one of those people 100,000 and be like, "Yo, get out my face." And they will probably be living better than the people in that village. And you still made a huge come up. And you just got a favor with the Trump administration. Did you want to say something before I started again? Or do you want to wait till the end?
No, go ahead and play it.
Ghana
Sorry,
and
I thought my
Uganda.
thing was off. Go ahead and play it because I'm about to rip this one a new one. I'm writing my notes down.
Got you, because it's so much in here.
Have agreed to take U.S. deportees for no financial compensation, but the countries had conditions. Ghana agreed to only accept citizens of other West African countries. Uganda only wants to accept deportees without criminal records and no unaccompanied minors. Last July, South Sudan agreed to accept 8 deportees from 6 different countries. So what did the country receive in return? It wasn't a cash payment like in El Salvador. Instead, South Sudan presented a series of requests. Lift sanctions on then Second Vice President Benjamin Bonmel, reverse U.S. visa cancellations for South Sudanese citizens, and reactivate a Federal Reserve account so the country can use U.S. dollars again. While leaders of these countries are comfortable accepting deportees, doesn't mean their citizens are.
Kulama deportees criminal cases lapha ekhathi gender-based violence lebe kusithinzana nathi konke manje uyuve ukuthi nibamfu sebekuthile babalekile ejele and bamfu labasuka kuma countries from Europe, they are even advanced kulula nje kusinana nabo bangithi ungathola ukuthi sebasingenele nana nathi emakhaya sebayadlwengula nakhona.
For example, local activists in Eswatini are suing the government, arguing that the deal was illegal.
We implored the court to issue an interim order to stop the state from importing more deportees. But the judge felt that he could not issue that order because it would be anticipating the decision of the full bench.
Plus, critics argue that third country deportations raise serious concerns, particularly because many host nations have poor human rights practices. Take South Sudan, for example.
South Sudan's displacement crisis is one of the worst in Africa. Its armed conflicts seem endless and rights abuses are widespread. Almost everyone lives in extreme poverty.
Once countries receive these migrants, they're no longer the responsibility of the United States, the government argues, whether initially that agreement was meant to be able to provide them protection or to send them to another country that would receive them, that then becomes a responsibility of these other third countries, making it more difficult, but potentially also subjecting to violations of international law.
But what's happening between the United States and African countries is a microcosm of a broader global trend.
The London High Court has ruled the government's plan to send asylum seekers to Rwanda is legal.
More recently, the Netherlands launched a pilot program to return rejected asylum seekers to their home countries through Uganda. And Greece has joined the growing number of European nations that want to create so-called migrant return hubs in Africa to process and relocate rejected asylum seekers. So as more countries turn to third country deportations, are those deals leverage or a liability for African countries?
That was a lot, right?
So African countries still not getting no cut for selling bodies. They ain't learned from the first time. Y'all ain't learned the first time when y'all was selling niggas out y'all country. Now y'all just taking niggas back. It's crazy. It's crazy. Hey,
Yeah.
y'all, lift these sanctions and we're gonna take these niggas. What? We only taking eight niggas from every other country. What? 8? Y'all couldn't negotiate 2 more bodies? They're making it even 10. Now we take 8. Not to mention, after y'all kill them, y'all gonna ask for 8 more? Y'all not getting paid to take them. I'm so confused. There's so many loopholes in this shit. There's so many loopholes. I'm glad I can't. You know what? This is why God has me on a podcast and not in charge of the country. Okay? This is exactly why. God knew better. God was like, I can't let this girl get in charge. Hell no. Because you're not about to certify mail me some clauses in a contract talking about, hey, we about to deport some niggas over to your country. What? For what? We just tired of them. Y'all tired of them, but y'all want to bring us the tired niggas too? That don't make no sense.
Don't worry, we only send in like 8. That's all right.
8, not 10? I think I can do 8. Y'all can, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I can do 8. I can do 8. What y'all gonna give me for it? Nah, actually, I don't even want the money. I don't want the money. I don't want the money.
I'd almost be a little bit worried, like, yo,
That's what
did
I'm
you
saying.
send
I'd be
you send these
scared.
people with a biohazard or something? Like, what the hell?
I'd be so scared because first off, I don't know. I used to be a dog breeder. Y'all can feel how y'all want to feel about that. I found out that more people give a damn about animals than humans, which is crazy. But nevertheless, I used to be a dog breeder, right? And I remember talking to other breeders or just being in other communities and stuff like that. You don't ever want to be the person that get a free dog. Okay? I don't know why nobody like I get y'all want to go to the rescue and go out and just save the world and help little Fido live his last little bit of life, not on the arms of an angel commercial. Okay, I get that. People that go and rescue mutts, more power to you. Hands down, for real. But you don't want no free ass dog. Okay? You don't even get a free dog from the shelter. You still gotta pay shelter fees and shit. You gotta pay that nigga bail. You
And
gotta
then you
bond
about to
him
pay
out.
all these vet bills, and you're gonna find out why this dog was
Why he
given
was
away.
dropped off in the first place, right? Because 9 times out of 10, that was a free dog that nobody wanted to get.
Yep.
How y'all, if y'all have more oomph behind a dog, y'all care more about PETA and everybody else, right? You heard me just say that slick ass comment. Motherfuckers care more about dogs, and y'all don't want to go get a free one. What makes you think niggas want free humans? Y'all don't even like those.
Dude,
For real.
the amounts is what blew my mind away.
7.5 million?
Yeah, and also you see the areas that they're sending them to.
Yeah, where the mines is at. Y'all
Now-
niggas is about to get slaved.
Now, what would make more sense, like if they was doing the deal with Equatorial Guinea, that would make more sense because that's an African nation that speaks Spanish. You're sending most of these people who are coming from, Guatemala, Mexico, Honduras. You're sending a lot of these people, many of which are not Spanish speaking, are not going to speak the local language at all. And it's not like it's some quick, hey, here's a translation book to, Tasa or something like that. These are not like an easy language, barrier
Marcus.
to be able to break down,
Because Marcus, it's sending them down to LaQuint Dickey.
Yeah, well, yeah.
If you ain't watched Django, please just at least watch the last 30 minutes. They are going to LaQuint Dickey Farms. They're gonna take away your name. They're gonna give you a shovel. You're gonna make big rocks in the little rocks till your back give out. And then when your back give out, they're gonna hit you in the head, throw you in a ditch. And
They're like,
them, we only got
so y'all were complaining about the Supermax penitentiary that y'all were gonna go to in El Salvador? Oh, okay, fine. We will throw you out in the middle of a desert, and now you got to deal with warlords who you don't understand.
Hunger Games, bitch.
They're like,
That's really
you thought
Hunger
your country was bad, huh? You thought the poverty you had in your country was bad? Then yeah, get over here and experience this.
They about to be in a mine. They don't even know it. Y'all about to be getting lithium.
But you think any of them who went over there that was racist before, any of them who survived that come back the most racist of all time? Because they about to get treated like shit over there.
Marcus, I love how optimistic you are. You really think they're gonna last?
Oh, I know they're not going. I'm saying if.
You think they're gonna come back? You really think they finna come back? Oh no, baby.
No, I just believe in the human spirit. Like, out of all those people, one of them will find a way to survive. And when that sucker survives, he gonna come back the most. Hey, he coming back as Django.
Okay, Quentin Dickey Farm. They gonna hit you in the head, throw you in a ditch.
I mean, they literally are, and the whole reason why they're doing this is they want to put out a warning.
To who?
To anybody coming into this country. You can end up over there.
But that's that shit that I'm talking. Like, what?
I'm like, you would think if they were really trying to do it, okay, Equatorial Guinea, because they speak Spanish there. That's a place where okay, they can actually start to try to build some kind of a life. Maybe if you were trying to, send them to, Panama or something, maybe, that's a place that America has a very friendly relationship, Costa Rica, something like that. You're not doing that. You like, you might as well just send them to, Taiwan or something. Yeah, next Siberia. I mean, and what makes no sense to me also is the amount of money that they're sending. I'm pretty sure there are other places you could have sent them that they would have took far less money than that per person. I mean, it shows how badly they wanted to send them to those places. Or look at it like this. If y'all trying so hard to force the Haitians out of the country, which I did see one judge put a 2-week stop on the TPS thing. So shout out to that judge. Why wouldn't you try to work with Nigeria, Burkina Faso, one of those places, Algeria or something like that? Well, not Algeria. Sorry, scratch that. My apologies. But any of the African French speaking countries. Why wouldn't you try that if you really wanted to deport the Haitians so bad? But some of the Haitians still felt like, hey, the reason why I left Haiti, my condition ain't safe. Maybe him, he left 10 years ago. He might not run into the problem that he was having, but my problem is still there because we don't know what everybody's individual situation is. Sometimes it's not just running from poverty. Sometimes you are running from a real person. No, I don't want to speak too much. I'll let you speak as an authority on Haiti. My apologies.
Send us back the fuck home. How about that?
Oh, you said you ready? Yeah. Send us.
Send us
You
home.
ready?
Yeah, I send us home. I'm at that point. Send me home. Because at the end of the day, get them crackers up out of Haiti. Them Clinton motherfuckers. Them Bush niggas. All of them. Get them out first and then send us back.
You know what? I think that would be the argument to have.
Send us back.
We're willing to go back if you all leave.
Mm-hmm.
Get out of our country. Let us run our country. Leave us to our own sovereignty. And we have our sovereignty, and you leave us the fuck alone.
Because we was doing real good. I mean, I ain't gonna hold you. We was doing pretty damn good before y'all came back.
Before they decided to start cooing leaders again.
Yeah. You hear me? Like
they cooed what two presidents in a row.
Yeah, and then not to mention that's like the MO because if you know about the man that got us our revolution in the beginning, like he was the only black general and for France at the time in the sense and he was like, hey, we're gonna get rid of England. Boom, he gets rid of England out of Haiti. And then he tells Napoleon, he's like, hey bro, to be honest, I just want a big ass general parade. So I'm that nigga. And Napoleon was like, nah, you a nigga. And he was like, damn, for real? I just did all this work, got all these niggas free. Now we all underneath the French rule. You don't want to give me my kudos? And Napoleon was like, nah. Sent his brother-in-law, right? Sent him over to Haiti and was like, yo, kill him. Boom. That did not go well. They ended up deporting him over to France, and that's where they killed him. But what they didn't know is that his second in command became the first in command, and he is the one who got freedom from France altogether with the help of the Dutch, right?
Mm-hmm.
They caught wind of that motherfucker, did the same thing. They have an MO of taking out whomever is in charge of the revolution for Haiti. And then they go back and they put whoever the fuck they want in place. No, bitch. Get all of these niggas out. Let Barbecue. I don't even think Barbecue's still living now. But anyway, let Barbecue and them. No, I don't think so. He been way too quiet. Ain't nobody come up dead like in a minute. Like for real. Like nobody has come up dead in a minute. And it kind of makes me believe that Barbecue is dead. But anyway, nigga, let his crew get in charge for a little bit. I'm just saying. Let him like eradicate some shit. Then we eradicate him because he's a bad guy or whatever you want to claim. and we go back to the beginning. But right now, no, we can't do shit with y'all in the way. Y'all in the way.
Well, sometimes
So
you need a wartime leader to make a way for the peacetime leader.
exactly. Thank you for seeing that logic because like we got to burn this bitch to the ground and then build it back up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I really feel. But yeah, until y'all get them motherfuckers out of there, I don't want to hear nothing about Haiti.
Like I know how a lot of people's theology is about like violence and war and all that stuff like that, but if you are a leader of a country, you can't
fuck off.
just have this zero tolerance anti-war policy. That's just not logical. What if you're attacked? What if you're being taken advantage of? I mean, war is only an extra level of diplomacy.
Look, I'm
It's
gonna
only
tell
an
you like
aggressive level of diplomacy, and there's a time and a place for all things, and it's just a matter of have you
The only
exhausted
people-
all others of diplomacy?
the only people that be so motherfucking quick to say, no, we shouldn't use war against war are the motherfuckers that started the war.
Yeah, because I will put
Because
this
when the oppressed start saying we're tired of being oppressed, we finna put belt to ass. That's when the oppressors like to say, "Oh no, we can't find a solution through violence." Bitch, what? You just blew my house up. The fuck do you mean? The ones that start the war are the ones quickest to say we can't resolve it with more war.
Or I say this: if you're being attacked in self-defense, is that still not violence?
Nah.
Even if you're defending yourself, that's still
You trying to hear
self-defense. That's still violent self-defense. So it's I don't know. It's just weird to me how people like to use words and language. But yeah, I guess my news rundown ran a little longer than planned. My apologies too. But want to talk about your boy a little bit? Hey, Lady Alex, greetings. And yes, Chris H, you are right. It is a whole bunch of other Europeans, and that's what I think Till was saying. Not only just the Clintons and Bushes, all of those U.S. and foreign-backed people need to get the hell out of Haiti.
Yeah, I'm just trying to go back as far as who might still be alive. You know what I'm saying? I know for a fact there's them Clintons and them Bush motherfuckers for sure.
Yeah, they're definitely involved, and I would say other countries are involved also.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, rest in eternal urine. In eternal urine, sir.
Golly. Mm-hmm.
Yes. For those who say, we shouldn't talk about him this way. He was a state leader and all this. I already know that when I get to work, they're going to be probably taking the flag to half mast for Lindsey Graham. And that's fine. Do what you guys want to do. I look at it like this. Lindsey Graham, if I had to sum it up in a couple of sentences, in which I could always elaborate if you guys need me to elaborate, but in a few sentences, this was the most flip-flopping politician that probably one of the greatest flip-floppers of all time. Also, he's probably the biggest war hawk biggest war hawk senator we have ever had. That man has never seen a problem that he did not want to fight with a war. And so if I had to sum it up to a couple of things, he cared nothing about the U.S. population. His focus was always on what's abroad, what's in another country, what do we need to fight, what do we need to take, how do we defend this greatest ally over here, and how can I get more money in the pockets of the big weapons defense companies. That's what he was all about. And so since I know he's a lot closer to you because South Carolina and Virginia are pretty close, and I know you got some stomping grounds in that area, I'll pass it off to you.
Lindsey, I'm so mad that your fucking piss poor ass family kept you on life support for 2 days so that your headstone could have just had one date on it. His birthday was the 9th. And I'm just mad because I know how white people get down. Them motherfuckers would just do their best not to make sure that they don't die on their birthday. But bitch, I hope you was already dead on the 9th. I'm mad that you got to see this 4th of July, to be honest. You old, crusty, raggedy bitch. Okay? In the eternal lakes of hot Minnetonka piss, I hope you drown every day in hell. Because you are probably the worst two-sided coin I ever met in my life.
Mm-hmm. I think I
Fuck Lindsey
might have
Graham.
had. I think I might have had more respect for him if he could have ever just came out of the closet and been honest with us.
No. Mm-mm.
I still would have hated him, but it's like, damn, there is one thing he's honest about.
You two-faced it, big jaw having asshole. Oh, turkey jaw, weak neck head ass. I'm so happy you up out of here. So happy. I'm so happy.
I'm waiting for the news on McConnell to join him.
And it's crazy. Now, this is the part that I want everybody to know. They're saying that Lindsey died from an aortic dissection. Okay. And if y'all don't know what aortic dissection is, I'm very privy to this because my mother suffered from an aortic dissection. And John Ritter from like Facts of Life or whatever his name is, he died from an aortic dissection. Aortic dissection can honestly kill you in 10 minutes. My mother survived aortic dissection and lived for 10 more years. So it's insane how crazy this is. It pretty much means that your aortic valve completely disconnected from your heart, which means you are now internally bleeding in your chest cavity, depending on where it is. It can be ascending, which my mother had an ascending aortic dissection, which means the blood, the oxygenated blood that's coming back to the heart was just spewing all inside of her fucking chest cavity for about 3 hours until a doctor figured out what was going on with her. She had to have emergency heart surgery.
Damn.
Descending aortic dissections, which are the ones that are like 3 to 5 minutes, you'll die if they don't have you somehow, some way under control. Those are the ones that are taking blood out of the heart to go get oxygenated, and it's going down your legs, which are connected to your femoral arteries and things of that nature. So once that gets disconnected, you start losing your blood everywhere. So being that Lindsey Graham had an aortic dissection, 9 times out of 10, he had an aortic dissection somewhere around his birthday, and they kept him on life support, right? And then today was the day that was no longer feasible for them to do because he's too old to get this surgery.
You do know he just flew back in.
When did he get here?
He just flew from Ukraine.
Damn, they got your ass with the okie doke, bro. They hit you with
because it was some rumors. People were like, did the Russians get to him over there in Ukraine?
They might have.
And I was like, because
Mr. Flip Floppy McGee,
he was just walking around perfectly fine. And I'm not saying that can't, like, people can't be fine one moment and then something like that, befalls them and it's natural. I'm not saying that at all. But man, it was like, I did not see that coming.
Aortic dissection was the last thing on my bingo card for his ass, to be honest. Because when I read it, I said, damn, Sonia, you done took Lindsey Graham out? And I just found it funny. I had never heard about an aortic dissection until it happened to my mother. And that's when I found out, like, John Ritter died from one. It took him out in 27 minutes. And it is one of those things where it is sudden because it feels worse than a heart attack. From what my mother described,
I'm sure it is.
Contractions in her chest. She said,
that sounds terrible. That sounds terrible.
Yeah. And so I can only imagine this nigga probably thought he was having a stroke. And they was like, oh no. And then his face won't drooping. So then they're trying to figure out, like, should we call the police? Should we call the ambulance? And it takes a long time, you know what I'm saying, for motherfuckers to even make that decision. Boom. He gets there. They have to put him on some form of life support until they figure it out. And then it takes forever for you to kind of low-key figure it out unless you're not doing a chest x-ray off the cuff.
I mean, I have another theory if it wasn't Russia and Ukraine. I mean, just bear with me. Could it have been the ghost of Charlie Murphy?
It might have been the ghost of Charlie Kirk, the way shit going left and right for that fucking trial too.
I'm talking about, like, remember the Charlie Murphy and Rick James?
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm bleeding inside of my chest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
Definitely bleeding inside his goddamn chest.
Did the ghost of Charlie Murphy kick him in the chest?
It might have. Because somebody needed to do it. I was so tired of his ass. I'm just ready for Mitch to go. Evil money Mitch.
Oh my goodness. Honestly, if it'd been any of those politicians, like Mitch is the one I've been hoping for a while. Is like, hey man, turn off his lights, please. I'm like, come on, Father. Has this man not done enough? Like, what do you got to do to be like, all right, okay, you need to be called in front of, the pillars. You need to come have a conversation with your Lord. I don't know.
Mitch
At
better
what
go
point?
get look Earl, whom that's who I call Death. Call him by his first name, Earl. Earl better go drop off something over at Mitch house because I'm about tired. Mitch gotta go.
At this point, does this not bring up a good argument for term limits again? Because man, how many politicians do we got to watch die in office? Like, go home, go retire, go sit down somewhere. I mean, I guarantee the way we're looking at it, I mean, at the rate we going, we're probably gonna have Mitch will probably go. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Trump don't make it his whole term. If we just find out that boom, he just dropped. I could see possibly what is it? I could possibly see, a Nancy Pelosi, a Chuck Schumer, a couple of them is really up there. Hell, even a Bernie.
As long as y'all have don't put death on my nigga, bro. Don't say Bernie. Bernie ain't do nothing to nobody.
I ain't saying that. I'm not saying that he did anything, and I'm not saying that like, oh well, I'll be sitting up there, celebrating on his grave. I'm not saying none of that. But I'm just saying, like, because he's up there in age, and I'll full disclaimer. When my grandparents got up there in age, I just start preparing myself mentally. Like, dude, they're older. I know that they're having these different issues, like because especially like my mom's parents, grandfather had Alzheimer's and grandfather had dementia. My grandmother had Alzheimer's. And in the end, her hearing was almost completely gone. She had went blind. She was losing a lot of weight, and my grandfather was what 88, 89, something like that. My grandmother was like almost 100. Like at a certain point, when they start getting that old, you got to start just preparing yourself. Like, yo, this isn't, this is not some kind of fairy tale or like the Book of Narnia. People don't just live till 200. Like, you got to accept the reality that, there's an end date for all of us.
Okay.
Yeah, there's an end date for all of us. And so when they start getting up there in age and not moving around so good, I hate to be like too blunt or direct, but just know that, them days are getting shorter on those family members. And so you need to start like mentally preparing yourself for it, because especially if you're the eldest or the family member that everybody depends on, you're going to have to kind of maybe be that shoulder for everybody to cry on and like arrange everything. And so don't be the person who's sitting there looking at your 95-year-old grandmother and looking like, oh, well, I got plenty more time left. That's what I'm saying with a Bernie, not to be, I'm not saying like, oh, I wish it on him or nothing like that. I'm just saying like,
all I'm saying is don't put that voodoo on Bernie, Ricky Bobby.
I mean, I remember
motherfuckers can. All of them Pelosi up out of here. You know what I'm saying? You and your husband. You feel me? I'll even take a little couple of young bucks. Y'all can get, you know what I'm saying? old FBI director. Y'all can take him too. Y'all can do a 2-for-1. I don't give a damn.
Here, we'll trade you a Cash Patel at a Hexeth also.
I will trade Hashpack, whatever the fuck, Hashpack, Hedge Head, and I will trade both of them for Bernie. Okay? If Earl came to me and he said, give me 2 for Bernie, I got 2 on deck.
Oh,
I got 2 on deck for Bernie.
I can give him more than that if you need.
Give me Bernie for 7 more years. You can have these 2 bitch ass motherfuckers. But as far as my thing when it comes to these motherfuckers that's been in Congress and senators and at Capitol Hill all this fucking long ass time. Do y'all know that y'all don't have good retirement parties and shit? Like, we don't give a fuck after you die. We don't care. We barely knew who you was when you were here. The only reason we know who y'all are is because y'all some dickheads.
Did you already?
Die, I don't care. And
Did you hear? Did you hear Nancy Mace is already considering running for his spot?
That's what I'm saying. They don't even let your body get cold these days. They're gonna drop the flag halfway. They're gonna say 2 words. They're gonna throw your body out in the middle of nowhere for a couple of days, let the heat get to it or whatever. Got you on a block of ice outside, and then they're gonna throw you in the dirt. Throw some dirt on you. Call it
I'm
day.
like, how much? I mean, how much more cold blooded can you be? I mean, think of it. They in the same party. She had to have known Lindsey. She had to have talked to this man, and seeing that y'all kind of agree on a lot of things, you didn't give a damn at all. Like,
you should have retired, Lindsey. Your old bitch ass should have retired, and then you could have died in the comfort of your home like Jimmy Carter. You know what happened to Jimmy? Jimmy died, and niggas was crying.
Yeah.
Okay, niggas was like, "Oh my God, Jimmy." We knew that nigga was older than Dick Van Dyke, and that nigga is 100.
100.
Okay, and we was crying behind Jimmy Carter. I shed a tear. They didn't even know that nigga. I wasn't even alive for his presidency. I just heard how great that nigga was.
Neither
loved
was
him
I.
In the hood. You know what I'm saying?
Really, it wasn't.
Jimmy.
It wasn't even his presidency. It was all the stuff he did after his presidency.
And you know what he really did? He fucking retired.
Yeah, well,
got out the way.
He became such a great statesman after the fact. Honestly, I think Carter always got a bad rap. He was trying to repair some internal structures, and he knew it was going to cause a lot of pain on the population. And so the bad rap that Carter got were the long lines with the oil. And people just got pissed off about, hey, stuff is getting more expensive, and I didn't get a proper explanation. This guy sucks. And that's mainly why everybody was so against Carter. It wasn't really a lot of other things. I mean, the economy was kind of struggling before he got in there, and that was just one extra thing that added on it. But Carter really wasn't that bad of a president when you really look at it. It's just the Republican Party hated him so much that, you know, that's how they went about it. And then the fact of how Reagan sandbagged him, you know, literally sabotaging his presidency with the whole Iran hostage situation and stuff like that, and negotiations behind his back. Like the stuff that Reagan was doing, literally, if we were in a functioning democracy, that shows already that we were kind of off the rails. That stuff would have been treated as treason in a lot of other countries, what Reagan was doing. He was like, no, hold him a little bit longer so that it'll give me some more steam, and it'll make, you know, Carter administration look weak, and then just give them to me later on because I'm gonna get in office. It's like, fuck, you really don't care about these people. They're just political footballs for you. And so that's what happened. But, you know, yeah, Nancy Mace, she already out there. She putting her hat in the ring. But I'm trying to, there was a couple questions asked, and one of the questions asked was perfectly fit into this. And I didn't say it when she came in, but hey, Kate, glad to see you. Kate asked a question. She said, I wonder what the mechanism is in politicians that makes them believe it's okay to send young people into military battles. It's money. Money's the only thing that works for the that motivates these people. And the fact that many of these people know that it's not going to be something that affects their family. It's easy for them to send me, you, their sons or daughter, your grandkids, your nieces, nephews. It's easy to send them because they don't see those people. Those people don't exist to them. Their family members who go to the military are sitting in a green zone and giving orders. They're not going out there possibly getting fragged or rolling over IED or their chopper being shot down.
We just talked about how Lindsey Graham did 6 years and only a couple of them were active.
Yeah, and the active that he did was being a lawyer.
Come on now.
That dude wasn't picking up a weapon going in a danger zone. I mean, and here's another thing for people that don't know how Desert Storm worked. The way and this is probably how we should oh god, this is so weird to word this because we shouldn't have been doing this in the first place. But if you're gonna do this horrible ass crap, at least have a smart strategy. This is what Colin Powell did. Colin Powell called up his troops, put 250,000 right there, built up another 250,000, ran bombing raids on all of their radar systems and air traffic control towers and any air defense, then mounted up another 500,000. And so basically he sat there and said, yo, y'all want to surrender or you want us to come in and start knocking heads? And they basically ran in black ops missions here and there, taking out dangerous targets. Now granted, they were doing this all to get resources inside of that country, and it had more to do with Kuwaiti oil than Iraq in the first place. But I'm saying at least strategically he tried to figure a way to end the war as fast as possible with the least amount of casualties. And now they just don't give a damn. They think, well, if we did it that way, the way Colin Powell did it, less people get hurt, but we don't get to sell as many bombs. We don't get to sell as many missiles. I mean, what about all the planes that we don't get to use? What about the refueling money that we can get off the oil? That's what they think on. Yes, indeed. Kate says money. They will send other people's children to fight wars for money. That is what this is all about. I got a perfect example. I was just watching an old school movie, and it's one of my favorite comedies, one of my favorite Eddie Murphy movies. If you've never seen the movie Distinguished Gentleman, it's a comedy, but this is how this really works. A lot of the people that you get in the office are literally the lowest of the low, no morals, no scruples, no conscious people that you can ever have, that are just thinking about this as a game. This is money. And then in that movie, Eddie Murphy, the protagonist, actually grows a little bit of a conscience because he actually, oh, wait a minute, what I do is actually affecting real people. And oh, you screwed over somebody who's close to me, and now I look bad to people I care about. Now let me try to make amends for my bad behavior. But many of these people never have that. They never have this, you screwed over somebody I care about. No, many of them are only, how do I work to stay in office? Many of them never read these bills, don't know these bills. That's the reason why when you see people run up on politicians and they start, you
throwing
shoes,
shoes.
Blah, 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 blah. They don't know what the heck you're talking about. Majority of the time, they have no clue what you're talking about because they pay a staff to read through this and tell them, okay, give me bullet points on what I need to say to justify this. Because most of the bills that they're getting, there's a lot of bad either way they go. And just like in that movie, it shows, okay, so if you support this bill, we got money from this committee because they'll support you for this. If you go this way, we got money from this committee. So it's kind of like, okay, if you go for like Obamacare, perfect example. All right, if you say yes to Obamacare, we got money from Aetna, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Humana, Kaiser, all these people that is going to profit from all of these new people. And also with all of these new people in the market will cover the high cost people that we have with the cancer and AIDS and all that are going to be costly. And so that'll help us, clean up that part of our books. If you don't go for the bill over here that will help some of these people, then we got on the other side, you can make some money from the pharmaceutical industry because most people are going to just try to find pharmaceuticals that they can pay for to fix the ailment after it's been caught down the road. And so That's what they're doing. Oh, well, you want money on this way? Well, hey, well, you can pay the oil companies and they can help with that. But over here also, we might have some money from the electric car battery people and people who are doing it from that way. So the people who are mining lithium and all this other stuff,
The people we just deported to
superconductors.
Africa. People
Yeah,
we just deported to Africa.
that's what this is about. And it gets to a point of we're up here, we have to disconnect ourselves from you down here. And it comes to a point where I don't know, another movie reference. Demolition Man. Do you remember Demolition Man? They're out to dinner, they're eating, and then Edgar Friendly's group goes up there to rob the Taco Bell thing because they're down there starving up under the ground. And how those people had so much disdain for them, disgust for the unwashed masses. That's the society we live in. That's how they and when you separate people off, whether that's separating people racially, whether you're separating people with wealth, with religion, you're able to put people in boxes and start telling yourself how these people are, because none of those people are there for you to see a contradictory story. If I tell you, oh yeah, all them black people over there, they're all on welfare, but you're never in a black neighborhood, you don't know how many people are not on welfare. You don't know how many people whose mother and father who are raising those kids. You don't know how many of them might have a really strong blue collar jobs. You don't know how many of those kids with blue collar jobs go on to have white collar jobs and do very well. It's only perceived for us that in the black community that only the negatives, we're only defined by the negative of our community, whereas many other people, the negative of their community is an outlier. It's not always all about race, because many of these politicians, once they rise up the ladder, they don't think about it. Do you think Jay-Z gives a damn about the black community at this point? Do you think most black celebrities give a damn about the rest of the black population? They could end most of the problems that we're dealing with. They can fund colleges. They could, make our schools better. They could get lawyers for some of these people who got bad cases so they never go to prison in the first place. There's so much that could be done within just black Americans could help their own community. But once they get over a certain wealth line, that doesn't matter anymore. And what I'm saying is, I know that I'm putting it through a black perspective because, of course, this is a perspective I can definitely speak on. But it's bisected and trisected and multisected in all these different ways. And what it comes down to is, once you get over a certain class level, they are not like us up here. I don't know. Sorry, I went on the tangent, Till. You want to add?
No, I just thought it was funny. He was like, I'm not trying to put this on a black. Baby, we can't do anything else but make it black.
Well, I mean, but that's what I'm saying is that is part of it. But with those wealthy people, and the crazy part about it is, it's even a black thing for them when they get on those levels, because they're still not accepted. They're just looked at it as, you're one of the good ones. You're better than the rest. So
I'm glad
we'll
you brought
give
that
you
up, because that
a
could
pat on the
definitely segue
head.
that can definitely segue into our next conversation, because I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna live and die by this one. You never want to be the only one. I don't give a damn. I would rather not be the one they view as the good one that makes it socially acceptable for you to be in their presence. Never be the only one in their presence.
Are you talking about the Nolan Wells situation?
Yes. And the other boy that drowned this past weekend or weekend beforehand in North Carolina, and the other boy that was drowned in April of 2026. Can we get started on the boys that have been beaten and drowned in the last couple of months? Because it's not just Nolan. Nolan's just Mississippi. What about that? I've been ready to talk about that one too, because that's what I'm trying to get y'all to see. Like, this is not the only thing.
In which, Yeah, that, I mean, that definitely is a good transition into the, which I put it into this. It let Okay, I'm gonna give the most devil's advocate perspective because just focusing on Nolan alone, and until I'll let you, of course, you can elaborate on all the other ones. But the Nolan situation, the kid grows up in a predominantly white area, has a majority white friends. Of course, he got a couple of black friends, and he's known these kids most of his life, hangs with them most of the time. He does have a black friend that he hangs with also, but that kid's a little bit younger than the rest of his friends. He goes out boating. Allegedly, I'm gonna go with allegedly right now. So y'all don't beat me up for no. This is what happened.
I use allegedly enough. We're gonna let it go. We're gonna
All
let it
right.
rock.
So allegedly, there was a fight on the boat between him and at least one of the kids. There's also a story of him meeting a girl that he liked earlier in the day that he was talking to, and on the little island that they sailed off to. Um, the story from her is she was like, no, he ain't staying over here. It was nice to meet you, cool and all, but yeah, okay, you go back to where you're from. Um, he's the only black kid on that boat. Before, they were only talking about him and the three other white kids. Then later they started mentioning that, wait a minute, there was some adult who was there also. They say that they were possibly fighting on the boat. Then they say, oh, they made up from the fighting. And long story short, Nolan comes up missing. And everybody comes back and they're like, oh, we don't know what happened. He said he was staying over there. And the girl's like, no, he didn't say he was staying over here. And his phone is missing. I guess allegedly his phone ended up with his friends and I guess the father of one of those boys. And it's completely wiped clean of all the things that were going on that weekend. According to his mom, he was big on Instagram as far as like popping up videos all the time of all the stuff he did, which was kind of weird that somebody who was really big on popping up videos and all that all the time on 4th of July of all times would not have been putting up a bunch of videos and stuff. And it's also weird that he would be found without his phone. And you know that there were fighting going on. And then when the parents are asking for his phone, his keys, and stuff like that, you guys are giving the parents static about giving it back. Now, I didn't even jump to, and this is one thing I'll say, because I think about when I first joined the military, being about 18, 19, I definitely was around a lot of white kids in different countries and stuff like that. One thing I do, and this is one thing that I've learned, and y'all can push back on me if you want to. And this is where I think this is a possibility of what happened. I'm not saying this is what happened, but this is a possibility of what happened. One thing I know about white kids is they play around and they joke different than kids who grew up in a predominantly black neighborhood do. We don't play around with certain things that get a little dangerous. Whereas white kids do. You'll be in the water, they'll jump off the boat and land on your head in a weird way that could have like broke your neck or something. And they think the shit's funny. Now, they're doing that with all the other kids too who are there. And I'm saying kid, I mean, even though they're 18, 19, they're not legally kid, they're adults, but they play like that. And they don't think the shit's dangerous until shit goes wrong. And that's one thing I've learned, especially when I was in the Navy. If it was white parties where there's a lot of drinking and stuff, and I'm one of the few, I get the fuck out of there early. Because one thing I did see about most of those white parties I was in is it wasn't a lot of food. It was a whole lot of alcohol and a lot of bad decisions going on. And they play around in certain ways. And then all it takes is for somebody to hit their head the wrong way. And I'm saying, what if it was a situation? Okay, they're fighting. Say Nolan did. You know, they're in the middle of a fight and Nolan takes a swing, misses, lands, cracks his own head. Okay, now you call the police. Now you try to figure out. But what typically happens in a case where you got some privileged white boys and one who has a parent that's a judge, I can't have as an accident. Well, I don't give a damn if it's an accident. It's going to look bad. It's going to ruin your future. And then what happens? Instead of you guys dealing with the possibility of, okay, we screwed up, this was an accident, and just facing how it looks bad, but sticking with the truth, what you do is you try to cover the shit. That's when it starts to get even worse. And I'm saying that that's not necessarily the case. That could be one possibility, or it could have just been completely nefarious, that they was just on some racist shit and fuck this boy. And the reason why I don't automatically go to that it was that situation, that they hated the kid or something, is because a lot of times when you grow up together, they might not have seen him as a black kid. They might have went out there and done some completely heinous racist crap to another black kid, and then came right back around and hung out with him and not even connected how messed up what it was they did to this one black kid while they got this black best friend. And I'm saying either of the possibilities could be valid, or it could be something else, or it could be somewhere in between. But the issue with this story is this thing was they tried to shut this thing up very fast and not give any answers. And for the people who are trying to say, you're just making this a race thing, no, we're making this a we need answers because this doesn't make sense thing. And so before I myself am jumping straight to it is this or that, because some of these situations are a straight race thing. Some of these are I just always leave the possibility of there's so many different avenues of what this can be. Right. I can too. Yeah. So an autopsy has been done, but they shut it up. That's the reason why Ben Crump got involved, and they're pushing for a second autopsy that's going to be done in DC with,
Colin Kaepernick is paying for it, by the way.
He's
y'all.
paying for that. They said that they tried to make this racial because Tyler Perry's paying for the funeral.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so I know I talked a whole lot. I'm gonna hand it off to Teal, but I'm like, this could be a multitude of things. And like Mariah says, so true. It's jackass all the time. A lot of white kids play in ways that are irresponsible and fucking dangerous, and they don't realize you shouldn't be doing what you're doing until it's too fucking late. Or another thing, like Till was saying about being that only black kid, sometimes being that only black kid, you and the 2 or 3 white kids that are your friends are cool, but you go to that one party and now some other white kid in that party now is targeted. Something got broken, stolen, whatever, and you're now the suspect. And so that's why it's in those situations, you got to cover yourself better. And I just warn some of those kids when they're in those situations, maybe because I grew up in the hood, I saw the stuff a little differently. Like, nah, y'all moving too dangerous. Y'all motherfuckers be fighting all the time. Y'all do reckless shit that y'all can do as white kids. If this was a black party, we cannot get away with the shit y'all doing. And so I'm gonna break the fuck out. I'm getting out of here. I'll holler at y'all on Monday. But sorry, that's my take. Going ahead too.
So thank you, Marcus, for your input on this. So RIP to Nolan. Well,
yeah.
RIP to what's his name? Daniel Irving. Let me find the name of the boy in North Carolina, black boy that drowned in North Carolina. Same situation, hanging out with white people. Don't ever be the token. And I'm about to go on a whole a tangent of different areas as a black woman. First off, black parents, y'all need to start teaching your children about this. And this goes back into that trauma thing. And this is why I be in Pasta's ass so bad. I love you, Pasta. First off, let me say that. I love Pasta. I love my AM Wake Up crew. I love Steve. I love everybody in the Anarchist crew. I love all of y'all. Okay. I love every last one of y'all. Tom, all of y'all. Y'all know it. I don't give a fuck what nobody say though. Y'all might not want to believe it as Caucasus from the Caucasus Mountains. Y'all might not want to believe that y'all have inherent DNA that gets transferred down the line to you. But in the Black community, it does. Black community, we know for a fact trauma is passed down through our DNA, and if it's not that, it's learned lessons from past ancestors and learned lessons from our old folks, our big mamas and shit. Okay, prime example, we talked about it beforehand, that redlining shit. We talked about Jim Crow and civil rights and all that other stuff. Well, even on the nitty gritty, we know better. At least most of us should know better. And if we don't, let me reiterate this for the community and for the next generations coming up. Do not be the only Black person in that fucking group. It's not a badge of fucking honor. At the end of the day, it's honestly a death sentence. It's honestly a death sentence. The likelihood of you dying from cancer and the likelihood of you dying from being the only Black person in the fucking group is probably the same right now. Like it's insane. This is 2026, and there's little boys that haven't even been able to experience life yet. And I say that because I was talking to a friend of mine, and we were talking about like one of these male counterparts that I've known in the past who had kids straight out of high school, never got to live his life as an adult male, always had to live his life in the guise of being a father and worrying about the betterhood for his children, for his sons, right? So he never got to experience what it's like to be an adult man, just living life. He had to learn his struggles while also being a parent. This boy didn't even get a chance. Didn't even get a chance to fucking make it, like, out. And he goes out to hang with his friends on what he thought was a holiday. Shit me. The other boy, his name was Elijah Weatherspoon. He just died hanging out with white friends. Like it's so sad that you can't even hang out with people. Now, the other part of this is you hanging out with all these white people and you telling me not one of these crackers had your back? Not one of these crackers thought to say, hey, let's not do that. Why? Because what I've learned as being a Black woman in this fucking country is we will make sure our white boy gets home. One white boy in the hood, we gonna make sure that white boy get home. We know his mama, we know his daddy. If they got a 2-parent household, they let us come over for dinner. They welcome us in their house. When their child is the only one in our crew, we make sure his ass get home. Hey, yo, don't fuck with that white boy. That's our white boy. We'll say that shit quick. On the other fucking show,
or white girl too.
Or white girl. That's our white girl right there with her dirty Air Force Ones. But we gonna make sure she get home. Y'all ain't gonna jump her. I put that on my mama. You not finna jump the white girl. You not finna fuck with the white boy. But that's what happens when they come into our home. But y'all claim us to be savages. That's crazy. We make sure the white person get home in our group. Y'all make sure this boy ain't never making it home. For so many times, history repeats itself. Whenever there is a Black kid in a predominantly white group, that little motherfucker is not making it home. Can we talk about the fact that woman that went to that fucking pajama party with them cracker bitches, she came up dead and we still don't know what the fuck happened to her?
Yeah. Yep, that's
we
true.
Still don't know
that wasn't that long ago.
And that wasn't that long ago. We still don't know what happened to her. Like it's honestly, it's math at this point. If you are outnumbered, baby, you might not make it home. Your days are numbered if you are the outnumbered one. That's insane. But we make sure our white boy gets home. We make sure our white girl get home. We don't never get that same consideration from the others. Never get that same consideration.
I had a situation, only Black kid in a Mexican party out here. He somehow gets shot in the gang shit, and he's not a gang. He has nothing to do with it.
We never get the same consideration, okay? And so it's just one of those things where I kept looking at this entire situation. I'm like, why his parents ain't teach him better? I know you probably did a good job. You done made it out the hood. You raising your child in a predominantly white neighborhood. At this point in time, I really want the Black community to start understanding where's the Black delegate at this time, because I need to run for office if that's the case. If it's an open position, I'd like to speak for the Black delegate, because at the end of the day, it's really not a badge of honor when you move out the hood and you move to the white person's neighborhood. This ain't Fresh Prince of Bel-Air no motherfucking more. They don't care. They don't care. They never cared to be your neighbor in the first place. And you think they give a fuck now? They don't. They don't give a fuck now either. They'll kill your kids, baby. Have we not seen what Zimmerman did? Have we not seen Trayvon Martin? Our kids are the fucking targets. And they know they can get away with it. At this point, they know they can. It's so blatant right now. It's insane. So yes, we might be able to say, this wasn't a hate crime. They might not be able to pin that hate crime on these little white boys, but I've seen how white boys get down. And Marcus was right. They do be on some jackass shit. Prime example, crackers be doing cracker shit. Look what happened at Yellowstone Park. Big ass motherfucking buffalo out there making waves and shit. And what do? They stop and take pictures. No, bitch, run. You know what niggas would have done? You know what black people would have done? First off, we wouldn't be caught in those type of situations in those type of nature environments. Because what?
I just saw that video today. That was fucking hilarious.
I'm just being honest. Black people do
mating
black people
season.
Shit.
Leave the fucking leave them bisons alone.
Leave anything alone. I just finished watching the video of a white lady getting chased by a fucking deer. Her dog got beat up, and she got beat up because why? Her babies was in the woods next to where this woman wanted to walk her fucking dog. And instead of walking her dog, letting it shit and going back home and walking it home, she wanted to sit here and talk to the fucking deer like that bitch speak English. White people shit. Unnecessary cracker shit. At that, stop fucking with things that obviously you have somehow a lack of understanding for. Animals don't give a fuck about you. Nope. Leave the wild animals alone. And at this point, leave the black children alone. Stop inviting them out. Stop inviting them out. I'm sorry, black kids, y'all just not gonna get included no motherfucking more. It's gonna save your life though. That's some shit you have to say. You have to tell your child, baby, you know what? It's better that you're not included because maybe you'll live another day. That's insane. My stepson wanted to go. My stepson was upset because he couldn't go to the beach with his friends. After this little debacle, that nigga ain't never going no motherfucking where with them. Ever. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. My baby would never be the token. My baby would never be the only one. I put that on everything I love. I'm sorry, love. You can't go. And it's sad that I, as a black mom, to my child or to my stepson, I have to explain to him why that can't happen. Well, baby, because history repeats itself and white people like killing black boys. I don't know. Even the lower level crackers like doing this shit. They not even on Epstein type of level, but they still out here sacrificing my black babies. So no, boo, you don't get to go out to the pool house. You don't get to go to the beach house with your friends. You can't go to the Outer Banks by yourself. If you want to go, I'll take you. But you can't go out on the yacht with your friends. You can't go on the boat with your boys. I'm gonna need you to have more black friends so that they invite both of y'all. And maybe that black boy might have your back and both of y'all can't. They can't take two. I promise you that. They can't take two.
Yeah, you never see these situations happen. And there was like that one other black friend who was, there. And he don't know what happened either.
Okay, look.
And if anybody would say, well, what about the damn, now I'm blanking on his. Dang it! How am I blanking on his name? The track situation.
Carmelo Anthony?
Carmelo Anthony, yeah. If anybody want to say that wasn't like a friend. Like, that's just a black dude who was over there around the way that he knew his name. Like, if it's a black friend that you grew up with, there's no way they letting that shit. Like, the black kid who's involved in this, what's in this situation that's going on right here, this Nolan situation. If he would have been out there with them, I do not think this would have happened.
No, because they tried it. Baby, what's the first thing they do? Okay. What's the first thing white people do when they trying to do some wild shit? They will isolate you. I've learned this. That's the first thing they do. They isolate you. You better talk about it, bro. Yes, Liz. You're going to talk about it. They'll isolate you first. The first thing they're going to do is isolate you. Be it by making you feel good, making you feel like you're better than the class that you're out of, or whatever have you. They're going to isolate you to the point that even you as the token, you're not even going to invite your other black friends to your festivities because they're going to make it seem like it's exclusive for you. I've seen it all too well.
Or you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, what? You going to, what? Nah. Don't invite Latravius and them. No, bro. It's just you. You know, my mom's fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? You can come and get on our yacht, XYZ, whoop, 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 whoop. You know what I'm saying? They make it seem like it's exclusive for you. They make you feel like being the token has some perks. When all in all, it really fucking don't. It really doesn't. Being the
Yeah,
only one in a room like that is not cool after a while. Because who do you really have to relate to? Nobody. Nobody. And yeah, you might have grew up with these motherfuckers, and they'll probably even try to pull that whole, oh, well, they were friends for long periods of time. That don't mean shit. Judas and Jesus was homies too. That nigga did the long game with that nigga. That nigga
because
pulled the long game with Jesus.
what'll happen is the parents override all that shit.
That's what I'm saying. And this is the other thing. If y'all are looking at it as like a climate thing, how I started looking at it at first, the climate is high. I said a couple episodes ago, like if niggas is really in their feels about this Carmelo Anthony thing and they want to get on a like an eye for an eye type shit, they're gonna start popping up like randomly. And this is what I feel. I feel like the climate is at a point where motherfuckers are just adding on and adding to the fuckery by doing their own eye for an eye shit. Like, oh, they killed one little white boy, let's kill 2 black ones. I don't care what nobody says. I've been in bike groups, you know what I'm saying? I've been in other groups, allegedly, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you right now, these groups can talk to each other very frequently and very easily nowadays, especially if they're talking about nefarious things. And these groups can literally send a text, a code, a call. Y'all don't know who brother is who in these cults and, KKK groups. Okay? So with that being said, it doesn't even have to actually be on some like, oh, we really planning this out. No, it could have just been a brother calling another brother of the hood saying, yeah, they got my son Carmelo. Oh, well, that's crazy because my boy Billy, he been hanging out with this little monkey child. And that could be a hit all if y'all knew. And y'all probably never find out because me saying some shit like this, like, oh my God, the KKK did a hit, and that's why Nolan Wells is dead, but he died by drowning. Like, y'all motherfuckers would be like, damn, T reaching. Come to find out, that could be the truth. It could really be real.
No, I never rule anything out.
But you get what I'm saying, though. That sounds so far-fetched, but yet it's so possible.
It's 2026. Anything's possible.
Anything is possible. Anything is possible.
Like,
but it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. That's what Training Day taught me.
Yeah.
It's not what you know,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
what you can prove. So at the end of the day, can I prove that? No. Do I feel it in my bones, brew bones? Yes, I feel it down deep in my brew bones that just has some weird hate shit going on. Because at the end of the day, you in Mississippi. You know how many other bodies have probably never even been heard of? Your daddy's a judge. Come on, look at I'm just saying. Look at the play out. SVU couldn't write a better fucking script, bro. The niggas on Law and Order couldn't write a better script. You telling me one of the boys on this shit daddy a judge? I know 2 of them boys on that shit daddy a police officer. One of their daddies probably the coroner. There's probably some weird ass, small ass, dumb ass city out nowhere, bumfuck nowhere, Mississippi. It's Mississippi on top of that. They did a whole fucking movie about how racist they are in there. It's called Mississippi Burning. The fucking name is in the movie.
Yeah.
But y'all gonna sit here and be like, oh my God, that's so unfortunate. No, it's so planned out. It's so premeditated.
And I remember when
you better be thankful his parents gave a fuck.
Till I remember my friends when I was in the Navy and I found out it was from like Mississippi, Alabama, and Texas, and some of them places. I'd be like, "Hey, better you than me. I could not live in them fucking places." Like, nah, they're like, "Bro, it's not like the stuff you thinking like that don't really like happen like that no more." Like, I mean, they know better. They don't come over here messing with us over here. And I'm like, if you say so, man, like. I still, whenever I would do long drives or whatever, and I would have to drive through those types of states, I never felt comfortable. I never dropped my guard when I was driving through any of them states. I don't give a damn. Like, dude, I was in an armored truck and I felt uncomfortable in Alabama. But that was just my little tidbit to add. Sorry.
Oh no, I'm good now because like at the end of the day, I'm hit.
Well,
y'all believe what y'all want to believe.
Here's something else that I want to add out there because it was a good point. It reminded me when you brought up the whoever brought up the never be the only black kid. Well, here's another situation that doesn't come about. Like this is something that I saw where I grew up that's even more common to happen. Let's say you are out with your group of white friends. And your group of white friends aren't the problem. But
It's
you all get
it's the other crackers that they get linked up with.
but you all get pulled over.
They're gonna throw you under the bus.
Now, no, they don't even throw you under. But the cop decides, for whatever reason, you are the problem. Now the cop starts yanking you out of the car, roughing you up, deciding to plant shit on you. I've seen that happen, and your three white friends are sitting there talking about he didn't do anything. Leave him alone, leave me alone. And he says, "Shut the fuck up and get over there and sit down." Deputy, get over there and watch them. Shut them up. Your white friends might even go to the media and complain about it. And you know what's going to happen? Not a damn thing. Your black friend's going to get arrested, resisting arrest, and they found drugs on him somehow. That's another situation I've seen numerous times. And it happened just because that white cop was pissed off that you hanging out with these white kids for some reason. What the hell are you doing out in our area? Because like I've told Liz numerous times, where I grew up, our county on our tags, it has the county in the upper right corner, what county you're from. And if you're from a particular county, more than likely you're about to get pulled over. If I grew up in Wyandotte County and our tags would say WY in the corner. The next county over to us, that was the more upper class, predominantly white area, Johnson County. If you were driving in Johnson County and you weren't probably within a mile of the mall, if you were more than a mile away from the mall, or it was after dark, you were getting pulled over. And the cops they're pulling you out of the car. They're searching and looking for whatever the hell they can find on you. Because in their mind, you already did a crime. They just need to find it.
Now what you know is what you can prove.
Mm-hmm. And so you might get lucky that this cop is not completely dirty and going to plant something on you. But if he's not the one that's going to plant, he's at least going to try his best to he's going to search every bit of your car, or he is going to poke and prod you to try to get a reaction out of you. So do you say something the wrong way, so now he can slam your head into a car. He can put his knee in your back. He can slam you around, even if that's just throwing you in jail for a weekend. And so sometimes that's it. Just being in that neighborhood. Let's say, for instance, you didn't live out with them, because that would happen. Plenty of friends I knew, they're going out to hang out with their friends in Johnson County. Everything went perfectly fine. No problems. But just because they're leaving this area, oh, well, we heard about a 211 that just happened over there, a robbery. You fit the description. Now you're getting something pinned on you that you didn't even do. And so that's just a whole nother scenario you can run into going into these little racist areas. That's why all that's important to know your surroundings in and out. Chris H says, yeah, I don't deal with Mississippi at all. No reason for me to ever go to Mississippi. I've never felt comfortable in Mississippi. I drove through there one time. No, well, not one time. I've drove through there a couple of times. I drive exactly the speed limit. I make sure I'm fully gassed up while going all the way through. If I am stopping anywhere there, I make sure I get to wherever I'm going to stop, and I'm there for the night. And then I keep on moving, drive during the daytime. It says, Chris A says, U.S. sounds like a horrifying place. I've been the only one and haven't had to deal with this kind of scary stuff. Coming to Canada if you want to break
Chris,
from that
black?
life-threatening racism.
Chris is black?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh shit, Chris H. I didn't know you was black.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
And I've found that outside of the US, you don't have to worry about this stuff as much. And it's this problem you run into more in the South than anything. Well, mainly in the South when dealing with white kids,
Right.
especially when they're white kids of privilege. And then I found on the West Coast sometimes, if you're hanging around some Hispanic kids, even if they're your friends, all it takes is one racist one in that clique who's tied up to some gang shit, and next thing you know, you don't make it home like that one black kid who was out in one of those parties. I think the kid was like 14, got shot over some gang stuff, and he's not even in gangs. Yes, this case, this case is being investigated. Ben Crump has just got involved in it, and that's the reason why it's gotten so much attention of late. Honestly, it got a lot of attention just because it just wasn't adding up, and the parents weren't even saying it's racist. They weren't saying it was racial. They're just like, yo, I'm getting a whole lot of conflicting answers from a bunch of different people. My kid went missing, and it's not adding up. The areas we went through to look for my son, where he popped up at, we had already went through that area. How did we not see his body there? And then all of a sudden it pops up. And the family is just saying, they're not even saying that, oh, they intentionally did anything. They're not saying either way. In which I think is the best approach. Just keep it open to, hey, wherever the facts may lead to what happened. But the answers that they're getting from the kids that are on that boat, the fact that his cell phone basically has nothing on it when it's been in the custody of these friends who are on the boat with him, air quote friends, because I don't know at this point. Were they friends? Were they not friends? I don't know what happened. I don't know if this was an accident. I don't know if this was done on purpose. I don't know what happened. If y'all were fighting and he slipped and fell. I don't know if he was trying to swim to the boat because y'all left him, or he's trying to get on the boat and y'all think it's funny for him to swim a little further. I don't know. I do know white boys play like that. That's the reason why I'm saying all of these things are possible. I just know the fact that there was an adult who was involved in this, and for them to get back that night and be sleeping perfectly fine and not wonder where the other kid. If I'm sorry, I don't care what the race of the kids are. If I'm the chaperone and I got 4 kids that I take out on a boat with me, there's no I'm going to stay back over here. No, the fuck you're not. Your parents tasked me with making sure you make it back safe. All 4 you left with me, all 4 you go home with me. And you can be mad as hell. And I'm not going to hanging out with Mr. Cage anymore. I don't care. You can hate me all you want, but you're coming back home. Or if you decide, if I can't force you and you physically decide you're taking off, I'm calling your parents right at that moment. Hey, your son is left. He's over here. I'm watching him on the pier. He will not get on this ship. But the fact that none of that was done from anybody and they just went home, it's like, hey, well, he said he was going to stay. It don't smell right. And the fact that how quick the police, case closed, it just looks like he drowned. Well, we were just searching this area and we didn't see his body just a second ago. Now it's here, and his phone, which this kid is, his mom said he is an avid Instagram, TikTok type kid who doing all the dance challenges and doing all that stuff and videos all the time. And you telling me on 4th of July weekend, when it would have been the most popping time for a kid to be doing all these videos and stuff, he's not doing the videos? He's a handsome kid. He's athletic. You could tell he's popular. You can tell he obviously had attention from girls and stuff like that. So you telling me he wouldn't have wanted to put videos out on Instagram? I don't buy it. Not at all. And so something happened. And the fact that we're not getting straightforward answers and everybody's just being quiet and lawyering up, that looks dirty to me. And then you tell me that one of the kids' I guess it's the mother, is a judge. Nope, something's up. Something is up. It's the same situation, with Carmelo, where the father of Austin Metcalf, he's friends with the judge. This reminds me of the Ahmaud Arbery situation where the cop and the father of the cop, those who shot him, that they used to be cops and they knew everybody throughout the whole, legal system there. They knew the lady who was trying the case. They knew the judge. They knew all. I mean, not only knew them, but like they
Going
were
to
like,
dinner with these motherfuckers.
not. I mean, I think like the son was like married to the lady in the county clerk's office. Like the father goes fishing with the chief of police. Like it was tied, close knit, tied together. And it's so many of these cases in these small towns where somehow some minority dies in whichever way, and somehow there's some tie to law enforcement or a judge or something with the person who may be suspected or a person of interest. It's a lot to just, if you don't ask questions, I think you're extremely irresponsible and naive at that point. I don't know. That's all I'm saying.
They seriously were like, yeah, we just gonna let our kid go out with these random people. And
Oh, that's right. And what you said earlier, Till, what you said was 1000% true.
What?
In our circles, if it's majority black in particular, now I've seen this if it's like black and Hispanic together. If we have one white kid who's in our circle, there is no way there's no way that one white kid does not make it back home.
Mm-hmm.
That does not happen. And that's something that's universal across the country. If there is one white kid who is hanging in our crew, that white kid will make it home. Oh, hold on a sec.
I'm gonna say it again. We make sure the white kid gets home. And there was something else I wanted to bring up. Is like, so we have a section in one of our creeks out here. It's called College Creek. It has a meanest riptide this side of Mississippi. I promise you. Many kids have died swimming in College Creek because of that riptide. And if you're not a strong swimmer, you're not getting out of it. No matter, even a strong swimmer, it's hard for them to get out of a riptide. If you don't know what a riptide is, it's when currents come into a certain section of a lake or whatever have you, and they go in both directions. So there's no actual way that you can kind of like ride it out and like it spits you back out, back into the safe water. No, it kind of just continues to. It's like if you got the spin cycle in your washing machine to start going, and you just stuck in the spin in the circle. It hits you with the left and the right. So like, if we find out that he got hit with like a riptide type vibe, yeah, but still is the deleting of the shit out of his phone that makes me question what the fuck really happened. That's really it. If you would have just left well enough alone, you might have got away with it, bitch. But no, it's the deleting shit out of his phone. For what? Why? Because it looked bad. They already gonna talk about the fight that happened over on the boat on the lake because y'all got way too many motherfuckers over there with way too many miles. They ready to tell somebody the story of what they saw. But
too many people saw it.
Yeah, too many people saw it off the cuff. So you should have just let that shit rock. You should have just let it rock. You should have just left his phone alone.
And not given the phone to the mom.
Yeah, and of course everything is like hindsight 2020. But like, if y'all was gonna do some nefarious shit, if y'all haven't known, nefarious is my word of the week. If y'all was gonna do some nefarious shit, y'all should have just left well enough alone instead of adding the insult to injury or adding evidence to the case. Y'all look at guilty as fuck now.
Oh, I forgot. We got to add this to it. Also, this part, when the mom did finally get the phone and she noticed all the stuff missing and she was about to go to her provider for them to start digging through his cloud, all of a sudden the sheriff's department wanted the phone back. Why all of a sudden now y'all hey, we need that phone.
That shit. If that was gonna be evidence off the cuff, it should have stayed evidence. But y'all never got it as far as evidence was concerned. But now you want it back from me? Fuck you, bitch. Now the crazy thing is what mommy don't know is she should have backed everything up to that cloud and then did a hard reset, gave him the fake ass brick ass phone, and turn around and just got another phone and airdropped it all to the new phone.
Oh, you better believe she got that information out of there.
Oh yeah.
You best
Baby, every
believe
time that
that.
bitch got the dinging on some shit, I know they got a fucking copy of what the fuck was
Well, you got
happening.
to think she got once Ben Crump got in there, he was like, "Oh, this is how we about to run this."
And this is a prime example, and this is not gonna sound so it's apples to oranges, but it's not in our community. And this is the type of parents that you needed to have for Carmelo Anthony. The parents to get Ben Crump on the phone. The parents to get Ben Crump on the case.
Yep.
Okay. The type of parents that's like, no, something ain't right. Y'all about to do my son. Now, granted, it's apples to oranges because Carmelo killed somebody and this boy has been killed. But like at the end of the day, come on, man. We needed Ben Crump on the case.
I just look at it. I mean, with a lot of my I got a big chunk of family who they live in Texas and partially spent part of their upbringing in Texas, and you know, I just know how Texas is. I don't trust it. The racism you got down there isn't just a black white racism. It's honestly, it's a lot of people that don't like each other down there in Texas. You can find racism from many different directions. So I don't feel like you're safe in a place like Texas. And so if you even get a whiff of anything that went wrong in a place like Texas, you cannot rule out racism. In a place like Mississippi, you're crazy if you rule out racism. Now, I'm not saying that that's what happened. It could have literally been, what if it was just a jealousy thing? I mean, it could. I honestly lean more towards the fact that they did something stupid and now they want to cover their ass. And they figure, man, we can sweep this shit. Ain't nobody gonna look into it. I mean, whatever. They thought they can just throw out a flimsy argument and nobody's gonna give a shit to look. But there's no way I could rule out what Teal said either. Because you can't know. I just think back to, and I think my personal experiences, of course, is going to bias me. I've been around 18, 19-year-old white boys and been where there's only a handful of non-whites. Not being the only one, because once I see it getting that way, I'm like, okay, it's time for me to get out of here. Everybody else leaving, I'm leaving too. But I just seen so many times where white boys do some stuff, the way they party and hang out and joke around and stuff can get really dangerous really fast.
They put alcohol in their butt sometimes. Okay, that should definitely tell you type of parties they be at.
Yeah. Yo, I'll give you a perfect situation where I thought a dude was about to get taken out that night. They're out there. We're at a party at a dude's house or whatever. He's cool enough to have everybody there. He talked about a story of when him and his wife had an open marriage. And so one of the guys who kind of, I guess, considered himself having a crush on dude's wife found out that she likes him clean shaven down there. He goes into their bathroom, uses our shipmate's razor and shaves himself clean with another man's razor from his face because he wants to try something with the dude's wife. And gets drunk and passes out on his couch. And dude wakes up the next morning. What the fuck is? He almost beat the hell out of him that morning.
As you should.
And that's what I'm saying. I have never, I don't know any of my black friends that would have ever crossed their mind to do some crazy ass shit like that. But I've been in a white boy party where none of them have had anything to eat since 10 o'clock that morning. It is now 1 a.m. and they've been drinking all day. And they start thinking, hey, we're on the second floor. I mean, it's grass right there. You don't think we could jump from the balcony?
Just jump out the window.
What?
I'm finna jump out the window.
Yeah.
Why?
Hey, you want to? Hey, he fell asleep. Let's draw a dick on his face, or even worse.
I'm
Hey,
gonna fart on his face.
I'm gonna put my dick on his face. Like what?
These are the same motherfuckers that fart on pillows and let you get pink eye.
And that's what I'm saying. I've seen them do this weird ass shit that if you do that in a black, you do that around some black dudes, you might get shot. You
really
might get shot doing that around some black dudes. I mean, some of the dudes I grew up with, that might end your life doing something like that. And I'm saying, I know they play in ways that other people don't play.
He should have never been the only one. Long story short, he
Yep.
should have never been the only one. I really hate that for him.
Yeah.
I really hate that his parents didn't let him know.
This is, I can too. The reason why it's not amazing to me, reason why is because you can never underestimate selfishness. You can never underestimate. Well, you can never underestimate how somebody's like, you know what? This could make me look bad. My life's not about to be screwed up because of this person dying. I've seen so many times where a white person with power, their kid could have got drunk, plowed over 3 or 4 people, killed them, and feel like their kid should serve no kind of penalty because it was just a mistake.
Community service.
You're gonna ruin their life. Well, what about the 3 lives you just took?
I mean,
and it doesn't.
Why would they get in the car when my son is driving?
And many, and that's what I'm saying. There are enough people out there that in their mind, their family is all that matters. It doesn't matter that you lost your kid. It doesn't matter that they lost a whole family. What about my kid's future?
My kid just got accepted into Harvard.
See what Jackie was saying here. I guess I accidentally put this up, but maybe I needed to put this up. She says drinking a load on top of an empty stomach is really common in the UK, especially amongst white men and often white women as well. Exactly. That's the reason why you see all them fights in front of the McDonald's. Sorry, I had to poke a joke at you, but you see a lot of fights in the UK after the club when they've been drinking. Because they don't have no food in their stomach. That's the difference between going to a black party and a white party. I don't think I've ever been to a black house party there's not food in it. White party, even if it's a college party, frat party, you may have like some barbecue. You might have some chips, not barbecue. You may have some chips.
Nah, black party, you gonna have some wings. Because we know we gonna want to drink the whole night.
Yeah.
So we need to eat throughout the night.
We're not trying to have you puking and stuff all over the place and passing out and stuff.
Nah,
no.
We do not have time to babysit you. You grown as fuck. Why are you not? You know what I'm saying? Why are you not eating? And then that's the other best part about black people. We gonna dog you and roast you for not eating. Oh, weak stomach having ass nigga. Get this nigga a wing or something. That's why Waffle House is still in business at 3 o'clock in the morning because of niggas. We leave the club to go eat at Waffle House to sober the fuck up.
Yeah. That's also where you have some of that's where some of the best meetings. Let me shut up.
Hey, Waffle House, the best link up spot. Just gonna throw that out there.
Speaking of Waffle House, tell me you seen the Waffle House song.
Which one? Because there's a couple of Waffle House songs out.
They need to make a commercial of it because
is it the one where he's talking about the menu?
I think he's talking about the Grand Slam. Oh boy had the Waffle House compression fit on.
Yep, that's exactly. Yep.
But and Rondell, what he said is, I do gotta, good point. He says Europe historically, let me put this in here. Europe historically has had bad weather. That's why they have a culture to drink alcohol so much. But also their culture of drinking is different than America. Europeans handle alcohol better than Americans because many of them will drink wine at earlier age and maybe a little beer a little earlier, and it's not that stress on it. And so they don't do what we do over here. Since many people, once they hit 21, they're so excited to be able to drink because they've been not allowed to do it. Americans go way over the top. And we have a lot more of our youth who end up with alcohol poisoning and literally die, which that's not as common for them. Right, Teal?
Yep.
You have a lot of, especially get off to college, and it's the first time they've had like some freedom. That's why you have a whole lot of them get out there, fail out of college, get close to alcohol, all kind of crazy stuff that you do in college, because they've been many of them have been so suppressed and not allowed to do so much. I think we hit all our topics, the main things. I guess I got all my thoughts out. But yeah, it's a tragic situation nonetheless. Yes, exactly. Lessons of prohibition went unlearned. Oh, wait a minute. I got all my stuff out. But shout out to Dingo. What's up, Dingo? And I think I saw John in here too. What's up, John? But making sure I'm acknowledging everybody I miss. Oh, there was a question. I forgot. Chamonique did ask the question. I was just waiting for the right time to kind of add that in. If she's still here, apologies if I'm answering this and she's already gone. But she asked me, she said, Marcus, what do you think about the Argentinian newscaster who said he hates Mexicans with his soul? It kind of doesn't surprise me because being on X, what I've seen the back and forth going on between between Mexicans and Argentinians, and it just showed the same racism and hatred which they have towards a lot of black people. They have that towards Mexicans and towards Latinos who are of the who are just even a slight shade darker than they are. And I've even heard from some people, the ones who aren't racist towards black people tend to be racist towards people who are a little bit lighter than black people. And they almost use a backhanded racism against us to insult them. So it's kind of like, oh, well, we assumed that they're going to do this, but you're almost worse than them because, I don't know, it's that classism, caste system kind of racism, which I can't be surprised from people like that. And I just at the point where I refuse to let Argentinians bother me. Like if I was I Show Speed and they were yelling at me, I'd be like, do you want me to come to your country and buy your whole building and evict you? Because I can literally afford to do that. I mean, I can buy your company just to shut it down. Like, you realize, like, you guys are like ants compared to me. You can say whatever you want to me about, oh, I'm black, but you're a nothing. You're a nobody. So who cares if you don't like my skin color? Many people do. So fuck you. I don't know. That's just how I would handle it if I was I Show Speed. I would not be agitated or bothered by fucking idiots. I don't know. I don't really get bothered by races, especially at the age I am now. So it just is what it is. Just sometimes I get a surprise, like, oh, so that's how they moving. Okay. Noted.
Fuck Argentinians.
Yeah, I don't know. I was like, I saw somebody, they were trying to defend Argentina, and I was like, so if you're trying to defend it and whatever, and this was a black person, I was like, well, tell me some positive stories, because all I hear is horrendous shit about the place, at least for black people. So I don't have, and I'm like, it's sad because it's a place that, from the way it looks like it's beautiful as far as the landscape, but since there's so many atrocious people there, why would I want to waste my dollars in that little shithole place? Yeah, rest in peace to his ladybugs, from what I heard. Do y'all? I just learned about this. Do y'all know why they called him Ladybug? Do y'all know why
No.
they? Man, I hey, blame this on Kyle Kalinske. He the one that was like, hey, if y'all want to know, I guess a lot of the escorts in the area that have I guess serviced him said that when he bends over on all fours, like they were worried if he was like dirty or something, because it looked like dirt or something, but I guess he got a lot of moles or whatever that kind of resemble like a bunch of ladybugs around his crack region. I don't know. That's just
Yeah, I thought
what
it
they.
was gonna be fun. Like why hush puppies are called hush puppies. Like I thought it was gonna be some cool shit. That was kind of weak. I'm gonna lie now. Now I gotta make some better shit up than that.
Yeah, they're saying like basically his butthole looked like some ladybugs or something. Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. So why are hush puppies? Look, better story. Why are hush puppies called hush puppies? Because slaves used to make them out of the cornmeal that they would steal from massa or whatever. Made these little cakes, and when they would leave the fucking compound, they would throw them at the dogs so that the dogs would shut the fuck up. AKA hush pup. Now we eat hush puppies at Captain D's because we think it's good side.
Yeah. Yes, please put that out there. Can he stop bleaching his hair? Please. That shit looks so gross. Stop bleaching your hair, dude.
Nah, don't let these haters dictate how you live your life. If you want to look like a buffoon, continue to do that.
It's like,
hey, I just gotta let y'all know I'm adding buffoon to the word of the week. More people need to use the word buffoon.
And I don't know. I guess Miguel is still kind of I don't know. I really don't watch FIFA. I mean, I don't have a, you know how they say I don't have an ace in the game. I don't really have a team. I don't. Plus, I just never can get into that sport. I'm sorry. There's too many like flopping all over the ground. It's too much running without scoring. I don't know. I watched so many times where like I was watching the highlights of a game. What was it? I think it was England versus whatever's the one with that ugly like Viking looking dude. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The Viking looking dude. He got the real big black lips. Pale as hell. They say he's nice and he's like a really good player too. I don't know. But anyway, I just watch times where these dudes like barely get touched and they get down on the ground and they're all wailing and screaming like they're in such pain, and then 30 seconds later they pop back up like they're perfectly fine. And I'm like, no, if you're gonna roll around on the floor like that and act like you're in so much fucking pain, you need to come out the game for a couple minutes at least. This whining and crying shit is Norway. I can't get with that. It's just too much fucking whining and bitching in that sport for me. And so the whining and crying shit is just, the weakness is just, ugh, it gets on my nerves. Also, I learned something. I learned why Americans call it soccer. Did you know why we call it soccer too? I learned why we call it soccer. Actually, I'm gonna put it out there in the chat. Does anybody know where Americans got the name soccer from?
No, why?
Because for a minute I thought we made that shit up. We didn't make it up. Did you know that the Brits actually called it soccer?
Well, I knew we couldn't. I know we didn't make soccer up. I knew it wasn't us.
Laney up. Of course. I got this. Laney is a smart cookie. Of course. It is an abbreviation.
Soccer?
Yep. No, here it is. Look. British abbreviation, ASOC from association. And I guess a tradition over there is they kind of add an ER on things a lot. And so from ASOC to soccer. And it came from the association on when they were trying to divvy up the rules on the game. And so since that's what the so-called upper class called it, the common folks decided to call it football instead. And it actually,
because they play with their feet, and it makes sense. Them niggas kicking the ball with their feet.
Well, it didn't start out that way. It started out a combination. You were punching the ball too. And they didn't play the ball on a field or a so-called pitch. They used to run through the whole town and play. And so, like, they didn't really have a certain number of players. It was just one town against another town, and they were all playing it. And then they were like, yo, we got to make kind of rules for it because these groups of people, they kind of more, play kicking the ball. And these people more play, running and throwing the ball. And so it got split from, to football and rugby football. And then when rugby football came over to America, and we eventually start changing the rules a little bit and made it our version, we dropped the rugby part and just called it football. Yep, there it is. Rugby football and association football. Which maybe if we would have called it American rugby football, maybe that would have got less confusion. And then we wouldn't have, the rest of the world, so upset with us whenever we call it soccer, even though the name soccer came from the Brits. But I get it. The Royals gave it that term, or not the Royals, just the upper class or the wealthy gave it that term, and the common man called it football instead. And so that's how one got football from association, soccer, and then rugby dropped the football at the end, and they just called it football. Then we took rugby football, made it our own, and just called it football. So. And I still think, even with them having the World Cup here, it is still not going to take on as being popular in America. It'll only be popular to either people who are children of. Well, in America, it'll only really be popular to people who are children of immigrants who come from countries where it's popular. But I don't think it'll ever become popular for most of the average Americans. And I guess I found the reason why, believe it or not, is because it's actually very cheap over there to play, whereas over here it's actually very expensive to play. Past like the first, like, when you're like, the kids are like, what, 4 years old, 5 years old playing? And it's pretty cheap then. But if you want to play past that, or, start playing in what would be like AAU soccer or soccer tournaments and leagues, it's actually a lot more expensive here to play and get involved. And I don't know, I think our teams are going to be full of kids who are descendants of immigrants for years and years to come. Although, if it ever did get cheaper and somehow you made it more interesting, like in the hood, I could see America, catapulting to being one of the most competitive in the world. But I just don't see that day coming no time soon, as long as there's more money domestically for basketball and American football and baseball. Hell, and even boxing. There's just too many other sports that there's so much of an infrastructure built up here. I don't think I'd ever see it taking hold here the way it does around the world. Rondo. Oh boy. He said it. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to get into if you're not somebody who grew up watching it. It just seems like a lot of running to wait for something to hopefully happen. And I don't know, I guess in our sports we're used to something happening, not waiting and just hoping. And I think that's also probably a cultural thing, but yeah, I guess that's all I got. You got anything else? Yeah, watching it is kind of exhausting. It's like, no, I can't put my hopes on it waiting all of what I don't know. And then also there's no timeouts or anything. And I don't think I understand a lot of the rules because dude, you're both going for the ball. One guy bumps into him and then the other one falls over and oh, I'm so hurt. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I'm sorry. I don't know. It's annoying watching these grown ass men fall all over the floor and cry. I mean, at least in the NBA, they don't cry like they're actually hurt. They just flop on the ground, like trying to draw the call. They're not acting like they're actually hurt, like like these guys in FIFA do. Well, that's another thing, Rondo. I think a lot that's why I can't get into rugby either. I think American football is far more strategic than rugby is. Rugby is just trying to be tough. Whereas American football, you have to be tough and you have to be smart and you have to be skilled. There's no one or the other. You have to do all of these things at a high level and very quickly, Whereas in rugby, you can just be really, really fast or you can be really, really strong. Not a lot of strategy in it, not a lot of thinking in it. And that's another thing around the ankle area. Why don't y'all put padding around their ankles or something? Because it seems like that's where most of the crying comes in. If somebody stepped on somebody's ankle the wrong way or stepped somebody's foot the wrong way. I don't know. I'll keep venting on that forever. I don't know. It's just, hey, to those who love the sport, no disrespect. That's your sport, but I guess I'll never get the interest. Oh, that said, Till, you got anything you want to add before we get out of here?
Watch the fruit and vegetables that you get because the parasite with the explosive diarrhea is still on the rise. They're not actually telling y'all exactly how many illnesses we're actually seeing in the country. It's way more than what they're saying, but just be on the lookout for the next big thing that they're trying to do with our food. More lab companies like Tyson are now promoting chicken, lab-made chicken. Canterbury, Kit Kat, some other chocolate companies are now doing lab-made cocoa or cacao. None of your vegetables have seeds anymore. So yeah, the world's coming to an end and they're starting to feed us fake food. So enjoy that. Shout out to the women that might have had 2 periods in June. You're an anomaly and it's actually a problem. So if you had 2 periods or 2 cycles, or you didn't have a cycle at all in the month of June, go on Reddit and get to talking to other women that had that weird anomaly happen last month. Because I'm one of them. I'm in one of those groups. So be on the lookout for that. They might be fucking with your cycle. There's just a lot of shit going on. Oh, and since CERN's been down, the world's gone to shit. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Mandela Effect. I ain't never seen that bitch ass nigga eat a whoopie pie, but now that motherfucker's eating a moon pie instead of a chocolate bar. Weird. Glad I got the fucking books to fucking tell us that it was a fucking chocolate bar because the movie is fucked now. If you have any old DVDs or anything, please keep them because that is the only way that you'll be able to explain life to your future children and future generations without sounding like a fucking psycho. And fuck PlayStation for making digital games from here on out. Y'all some hoe ass niggas for that. That's all. Yeah, I think that's it. Oh, and the Strats is closing back up. So fuck all that talking they was doing, because that shit was for nothing. That part too. Sorry,
The
Iran.
what? Oh yeah, man. But
Sorry,
we
Iran.
knew that. I
I
mean,
knew
I
it was
think
full of shit. I knew it was full of shit when they fucking came to terms. They was like, yeah, we finna go over there and talk to Iran and be cool and shit. And then they blew them niggas shit up the next day. That's not calling it cool. You're not being cool, bro. That's kind of static, in my opinion. And then what? We were just quiet for a couple of weeks to try to let them niggas cool off, act like we didn't just blow their shit up. Please.
well for me, when you got Trump, who is not an honest actor, who he feels like he has to have you by leverage. He has to like lord over you. And the only way he does a deal is if it's like a 95-5 deal. He doesn't want to do a fair deal. So I knew that wasn't going very far. And then you got them saying clear as day, Israel has to stop doing this. I'm like, you guys are miles apart. What the fuck are you talking about? There's a deal. It's not a deal. Why? Who believes this shit? And then I talked to somebody and they're like, yeah, so and so, they believe that. I'm like, you guys, y'all really are buying this shit. This is all so that they can just try to keep juicing the stock market as long as they can. Trump has too much arrogance and pride to realize, like, yo, you're not going to get what you want. And since this man has went so many years in his life, never completely hearing no, or going and going and going and going and going until he just takes what he wants. Somebody who doesn't know what no means, how do you negotiate with them when you keep telling them no? So this is going to be to a point where, and especially with the politics of the Mitch McConnell, him being out of the frame, and now Lindsey's out of the frame. Yo, Trump is essentially a lame duck already. So it's going to be interesting in the next few months when he's out of when it comes down to the 2026 election. It's going to be very interesting, because I imagine Trump's last 2 years is going to be inquiries and people getting called to Capitol Hill. I think it's going to be a very interesting time. How many people are being brought up on charges, because they're not going to be able to go after Trump right away. Although I think they're going to start doing their paperwork, but there's going to be people who are already out of his administration, the Pam Bondis and people like that, the Dan Bonginos. Y'all going to have a lot of subpoenas coming y'all way. And be careful, because some of y'all might be going to prison. And just because Trump can ignore laws, don't think that you can. What's the other one who's I can't think who was NHS, not NHS, but dang it, whether they were making fun of her, Homeland Security, who he ended up firing. She's gonna be out. She's gonna be out too. Or she's going to be possibly facing charges too. The one who killed the dog, what was her name? Who turned into Miss, plastic surgery, Botox. Who ended up getting her purse stolen in DC. Y'all don't remember what I'm talking about?
Shit. I know who you talk about, and I heard. Soon as I was just about to say, so the bitch that got her purse took?
Yeah, her.
Right next to her? Oh
my God, from North Dakota.
Yes, and I remember once you said the one that fucked over that dog, and I was like, "Oh, I know who you're talking about." That's all.
Not Lauren Bobbitt.
Oh no, she was cutting dinglings off. Wrong person, wrong white lady.
Oh, that's Lorena Bobbitt.
Oh, well, I like her too.
Lauren Bobbitt is the young one who was giving handies in the plays.
Wasn't she head of FBI? Hold on, wasn't she head of like
Homeland Security?
Thank you, Homeland Security.
Yeah, she was Dan Bongino's. I mean, not Bongino's boss. What was that woman's name?
What the fuck was her name? Christy Nome.
Christy Nome. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Her ass might be going to prison. Oh, shoot. Emmanuel in the building. What's up? Say AAU Sports Industrial Complex in America is wild. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like the whole avenue for all these other sports, I see kids far more putting money into that than going down the soccer or, you know, football route in America. Yeah, but he said Homeland Security. Wow. But that's what I'm saying. Once they get you know, and I know there's no love for the Democrats. I'm not saying there is, but hey, I like when I see my enemies get their just due. So just like I'm glad to see little Lindsey's bitch ass up out of here. I'll be happy to
That
see.
motherfucker literally said, "We flattened Berlin. We'll flatten Gaza too." Bitch, shut the fuck.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, they should be able to drop a nuke. Like, what? He said I thought it was all right when we dropped a nuke on Japan. Wait a minute, whoa. Time out. Didn't nobody say that was okay? That we did it, but nobody said that was okay. But that shows you how his mentality is, and that's the reason why any person who was in the military who never worked around weapons, who never worked around actual guns, who was a pencil pusher, I have no respect for your military service. Actually, let me rephrase that. I have no respect for your military service if you're a war hawk and want to push people to war. Because I'm not crapping on you if you're a corpsman and all these different things. There are plenty of jobs that are very important and needed in the military. But if you're one of those people who never put yourself in a position to have to go into battle or war and put yourself on the line, but you want to throw other people on the line, yeah, no respect. And speaking of corpsmen, technically some of them go FMF, which is Fleet Marine Force, and literally go out on the line. So yeah, I just don't have any respect for chicken hawks who sit over there and want to send other people's kids, you know, to pointless wars. You know, so I'll leave it there. Appreciation, much love to everybody who dropped through. Much love to all of y'all. What did he say? Let me read this one right before we leave. He said, yeah, the flopping is not masculine enough for American sports when football exists. Exactly. That's never going to catch on to us. That just looks so bitch made to most of us. And you cannot sell that sport. You got a better time, honestly, selling tennis and golf than you do, you know, running nonstop and flopping all the time. I mean, just like you don't like when it comes to any of the track and field sports, yeah, you can get a lot of popularity into the 100-meter dash, 200, 400, 800, you know, high hurdles, you know, javelin, some of that other stuff, but you're not getting nobody out there to do a 1600. You know, nobody wants to go do that stuff. Nobody wants. No, when I was growing up, no offense to kids who are on this team, I'm not trying to dish you, but most kids wasn't coming out to the cross country meet. Nobody wants to just run all the damn time. That shit is boring. And maybe because as a sprinter, I liked running and I hated all the distance running we had to do to prepare for it. Maybe I just got a personal dislike for a lot of fucking running. But yeah, I can't get into just running and hopefully I score. Nah, bump that. Rondo about the fighting part of it. But yeah, I know it's late to y'all on the East Coast, so I ain't gonna keep y'all much longer. Even later to our friends overseas. So we're gonna close it on that note. Much love to all of y'all. Appreciate y'all for swinging through. Hopefully I have a blessed week, and we'll holler at y'all later. We out.
Hashtag I hope Mitch McConnell die.
Yes. Go join your partner.
There is discrimination in this world, and slavery and slaughter and starvation. Governments repress their people. Millions are trapped in poverty, while the nation grows rich, and wealth is lavished on armaments everywhere. These are differing evils, but they are the common works of man. They reflect the imperfection of human justice, the inadequacy of human compassion, our lack of sensibility towards the suffering of our fellows. But we can perhaps remember, even if only for a time, those who live with us are our brothers, that they share with us the same short moment of life, that they seek as we do, nothing but the chance to live out their lives in purpose and happiness, winning what satisfaction and fulfillment they can.